I'm having some extreme lag. I'm going to reboot my computer. Happy 4th of July to you guys. I'll be right back, okay? Trying to see what the heck is going on with this. You know, it does the intro and it goes, singing a song where I was wrong. Like, come on. I can't have that. All right, so I'll be right back. I'll see you guys in just a tad bit. Here we go. All right, I think that's a lot better. Got my American flag shirt going on. My buddy was trying to tell me, he's like, it's not an American flag shirt. It's a Puerto Rico flag shirt. And I said, hey, it's red, white, and blue, is it not? Anyway, it is what it is. Glad to be here with you guys. Happy Independence Day. Happy 4th of July. Glad to be here with you guys. Please smash that like if you haven't done so already. Just had some minor technical difficulties. Glad I refreshed it because otherwise it would have been a really choppy show. We have 7 likes. We have about 15 people watching. Let's turn on some banners and just kind of dress up the HUD a little bit, you know. And let's welcome the one and only Mr. Tim Shea, who says, hey, happy 4th of July. Mr. Tim Shea, representing the 589th district of the XRP Army, because he's the mayor of crypto, the crypto commissioner, Tim Shea. Glad to have you here. Saying happy 4th to everyone. Yes. Should be, I don't know, an interesting one. I will be, I don't know, after I give this dude a ride home, I don't know. I might have to maybe possibly go somewhere. We'll see. Either way, it's going to be a 4th by myself once again, but it's all right. Brittany says, happy 4th. Yes. Thank you, Brittany. Appreciate it. Say hello to everyone. Boomer F and Sooner. I know that you're having a good 4th. Probably some, what are you doing, Boomer? Mr. Boomer F and Sooner. What are you doing, man? You doing ribs? Did you already do all this stuff? You guys are a couple hours ahead of me, so you probably already ate and stuff. Did you guys do like potato salad? Like, what the heck did you do? You know? Anyway. All right. Let's see where we're at. River is in the house. Happy 4th of July to his southern friends. Selmo Fudd says Crypto Talk Now. Welcome, welcome, Mr. Selmo Fudd. Boom. All right. Gonna welcome a few more of you guys. We'll try to kick it into what we have. I was reviewing some of our shows, and I don't know, man. I guess a lot of it, like when I come on here to talk or explain something, it's just hopefully people soak some of it in instead of it just being a chat box. But I'm glad you guys enjoy it whatever way. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. All right. What was that comment from Mr. Brian Dowie? Welcome, Brian Dowie. I saw a certain comment from him. Ah, here it is. Yes, that's exactly what it was. I forgot, man. I said to myself, I can get away with this. I'm gonna have it on the other screen. That's totally what it was. I had to just shut that down, and I was like, oh, geez, yeah. So I'll try to make sure that doesn't happen again. You're right. All right. Brian Dowie says Vaseline. We have also Joker's Wild. Welcome back. Hi, Max. Evening, everyone. Hope you all had a great 4th of July. Best wishes from Great Britain. Well, thank you. Even though it was winning our independence from you guys, I do appreciate that. All right. Corey Bibe, welcome back. Glad to have you back. Appreciate you, man. Boomer FS Sewer says Joker's Wild was a badass game show in the 70s. Cool. Andrew Davis, welcome back. What up, big guy Max? Happy 4th, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back. Glad to have you back. Tim Shea with the 589th. We also got the one and only La Grande Commission. Oui, merci beaucoup. He says, Happy Independence Day. Max and the CTN crypto investors. Why does it say UM at the end? It's kind of strange. Anyway. Hot dogs. This guy on the radio was saying hot dogs are for kids. I was just like, hot dogs are for everybody, man. All right. Legrand Commission also says driving back home from the fireworks show. Oui. Thank you very much, Legrand. Not Legrand. Brian Dowie says, Max, we expect this stuff from Latex Larry, but you should know better. Okay. Well, whatever the case be, wherever your thoughts are, my friend, it's okay. Thank you. AZ Marine Sniper is in the house. Welcome back. I think that's it. So I don't know. Obviously our numbers aren't going to be great on a 4th of July. But I do appreciate you guys. Yeah, we're going to go from here. All right. For whoever is here and able to do so, please smash the like just in case, it'd be kind of cool to tick up. We're going to get into some of the things we have on our outline just to kind of give you an idea of what is going to happen tonight. It's going to be a little bit of Jasmine. We have, for instance, what else do we have? We have a lot of XDC because we're going to do it yesterday, but we need to have a chance to do so. And then there's some other ones that are posted today also. On top of that, we have some LCX. There's a new token sale that you might have not even been aware of. You may feel like, well, who cares? It's like there's token sales everywhere. Well, this one you might want to pay attention to. We have a little bit of Hedera HBAR and a tad bit of Algo. Maybe possibly tomorrow, or actually the day after tomorrow, because Sean the Crypto Smith. Welcome back to Sean the Crypto Smith for some utility talk now. So probably on Thursday or something like that, we'll get into Casper, BSV, some of these other things, So pretty cool stuff. Maybe some Nixera, But nonetheless, I am going to pull up some things. I did see a super chat came in. Give me just a second. Let's see what I can pull up. Let's see. Let me pull up a couple things, actually. All right. So we have a super chat that came in from who? And also, welcome to Cool Cat Crypto. All right. Yeah, it is. That's why I was like kind of debating on going out for 4th of July. And I was just like, man, I've probably seen some of the best fireworks shows in the country. Although I haven't been to New York Harbor and I haven't been to the Louisville Bridge. Those are supposed to be like the two of the best from what I heard. But yeah, it's just hot as F, is AZ Marine Sniper basically stated. Although depending on where you're at, right? Like if you're up in Carefree, it's probably like what 5-10 degrees cooler because it's a little bit higher elevation. But anyway, there's Cool Cat Crypto. Thank you for the likes. April Cornwall, happy 4th of July to you as well, April. April freaking Cornwall. So Boomer Afton Sooner. April freaking Cornwall. I'm kidding. All right. Well, not really. I mean, that is your name. All right. Elon Muff. Thank you for the $2 super chat from Mr. Muff. It says Max. Sound like it's like AC/DC. Oi, right? That'd be cool. Love that song. That's probably one of my favorite AC/DC songs. You know, everybody thinks I'm like, oh, Max only listens to hip hop. He doesn't listen to anything else. He doesn't have a very open mind when it comes to stuff. Are you kidding me? I love me some AC/DC. I love me some Guns N' Roses. I love all sorts of different genres of music. It's not just like, you know, some people think like it's just 80s and 90s hip hop and that's it. No. There's good and bad in all music, especially hip hop, right? Like, especially rap. The way I look at it is, all right, I want to state this for record, right? There is hip hop, which is good hip hop, and then there's some rap that sucks. There's bad rap that, as far as I'm concerned, doesn't classify as being hip hop. If it's real rap, it's hip hop. Get what I'm saying? If it's not, then it's crap. Like one of my friends said, well, all rap is just, you know what rap stands for, Max? And I was like, okay, all right, let's hear your spiel. His name is Michael also. His name is Michael Levins. He's a lawyer, right? He's like, you know what rap stands for, right? I'm like, okay, go ahead. It stands for retards attempting poetry. I was like, really? I said, well, I guess Nas is the biggest retard out there, huh? He got invited to Harvard University from the poetry professor. He's like, exactly. That guy's a retard too. I was like, it's a lady, but whatever. But anyway, he just doesn't like hip hop. So teach his own. All right. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat, Mr. Elon Muff. Thank you. All right. Yes, we hope everybody's day was beautiful and, you know, all that good stuff. LCX, baby. Yes, we're going to get into that. If LCX is your thing, stick around, smash the like, smash the like. 18 likes. It's decent for how many people are here. This stream pops off my night for sure. I get to end it with the bang. Selmo Fudd, you know how he spits his game. Doing it live, doing it right. He's Selmo Fudd. Listen to CTN all night. Boy! Thank you for being here, Mr. Selmo Fudd. Here comes another one to you. All right. Everyone's welcome, Mr. Elon Muff. And he's got another super chat for me. Thank you. He says, Maximus, DP to the freaking G. Filipino Ice Cube is who he be. Listen to hip hop since 93. 7th grade thing doing his. Never mind. I'm not going to get into it anymore. All right. Tomorrow, over 40. Too hot, not comfortable. Because you guys are in Canada. And you guys, for instance, use this, like go by Celsius. Very true. All right. Well, thank you for that, Mr. Brian Dowie. But yes, thank you again. $2 super chat. We'll read a few more. Tim Shea says, Max, go for it. Caroline loves the heat. Just because I'm single again, all right? And, like, it wasn't me breaking up. It was the other way around. But anyway, just because I'm single again doesn't mean that I'm going to stoop to Caroline. So just want to throw that out there. Thank you. All right. Well, I'm in Northwest Phoenix, man. Glendale, Phoenix border, basically. So anyway, all right. Cool Cat Crypto says he's expecting a crypto explosion any second. Wait, it was them beans. Oh God. You know what? Was it bush baked beans? I love me some bush baked beans. I know where you guys are going to take that. Got to keep it clean. All right. Brian Dowie, River, might need a few more beers and we'll get into the outline here in a bit. Glad you guys are having a good time. Caroline's favorite song is She Will Rock You. Oh God, that would be horrible. Wow, that's something. All right, Brian Dowie says his son's at golf camp tomorrow. He'll be sleeping by 7. Oh, that's cool. This is interesting stuff. All right, Brian Dowie says, Max, I'll send Caroline your way. I'll tell her to bring her pogo stick. Thank me later. Jeez. All right. Thank you, I guess, Mr. Brian Dowie. Lots of Filipinas out there, Max. Yeah, not bad, I guess. I don't know. Still gonna go to Italy for at least a couple months in the future, so we'll see what happens with that. All right, Dirty D's done dirt cheap. All right, let's highlight that. Smash the like. Let's see how we're doing. Likes 20 likes, 25 people watch. That's not bad. That's really good. All right, so one of those weird days. The weather is hot, and of course you went to golf camp as a kid. That's something. Good thing I checked the chat because I got super chat from the one and only Daryl Crumblesome, aka Fluffy Fluff, and the banana hammocks. What a name! Like, I hope that whatever video game you play, if you're into gaming, they will allow the max characters of being able to fit your whole name. That way, like for all these troll kids, they're like, oh my God, I freaking 360 no scope headshot, and it says that they got completely killed across the map from the one and only Fluffy and the banana hammocks. All right, on a serious note, thank you very much for being here. Thank you for a $10 super chat. He says, Max, happy Independence Day. Thanks for all your research. He's hoping his Jasmine and Quant bags are going to give him permanent independence by 2025. Yes, that would be very, very nice. What could Jasmine be worth of Bitcoin hits a high of 200? Oh my God. I mean, so of course helps for any project to have utility, as we know. But my thing is, I mean, a lot of people, like, I think some people realize this, but not all people realize this. It's like when you talk about people aping into a project, which means basically like a way of FOMO, right? Because aping just means no research at all. Technically speaking, I mean, BTC going to like new all-time highs from previous all-time highs of 69K to 200K. This fuels that debate of even, and I don't want people to necessarily do this, but you're going to do it anyway. I mean, shout out to Kuchu Boy. He always killed it with the meme coins. Even Elon Musk, right? You guys are going to do what you're going to do, right? Like, I'm not going to judge you. You got to do what you got to do. I do like what Michael Montclair has mentioned, like PayPay, swap that over to, more of, I forgot what asset he's going after. But my thing is this, 200K of Bitcoin, right? BTC. Are we going to be naive enough to think that even with all the great utility that Jasmine has and so on, that wouldn't dramatically help these altcoins like Jasmine? You better believe it's going to help it. So, oh man, I mean, some of these things about like the KPI target that, the Jasmine management team wants to achieve of $17 per Jasmine, that sounds absolutely nuts. You got to combine so many different factors by this time. I mean, are we also going to be, I don't believe that, for instance, the Ripple case is going to extend to 2025. I think it'll be long over by then with a Ripple victory. So there's going to be so many positive catalysts. I think we'll be well into a 4-year boom cycle. We'll, like that will already have been a done deal, or just like maybe, a lot of these things are already at all-time highs. Maybe there's a utility run, finally happening. So many different metrics could be happening by the time of 2025. How about this? ISO 222, even though Jasmine isn't part of that and doesn't need to be because that's a messaging system. But again, that would be like, if we were putting so much focus on BTC at 200K, we're talking about the utility run. Well, then, full implementation of ISO 222 by November 2025. So you say by 2025, it depends on what time of 2025. Is it by the end of 2025? So many things to look at. But yes, Even if we just like didn't even mention any of those other things, and we're just like, it's just strictly flat out BTC. And I guess we could throw in Ethereum, right? We can't be naive to that. But, 200K of Bitcoin will dramatically help, Jasmine and so many other alts. I just firmly believe that. I mean, even as is, BTC and Ethereum, 81% of overall crypto market. So, yeah, 200,000 of BTC, that'd be absolutely massive. Oh man, I can't really pinpoint exactly what it would be worth. But I think we absolutely smash $1 out of the park. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Some of you guys that hold XDC as well, I think that gets smashed out of the park. I mean, we're supposed to believe that it's just gonna be solid consolidation all this time. No, that's not gonna be it. But we'll have to wait until we get to these moments. But yeah, I mean, at 200K BTC, the overall crypto market, I mean, even at 69K back on, what was it, 2021? I know I always mention that date. Were we close to 4 trillion? Maybe it was like 3 point something trillion, right? I mean, it should be like at least 5 trillion, if not more. Like Selmo Flood was talking about, the utility run and so on. It's just like, we do have the BlackRocks and the Fidelities and all these different institutions coming in. That's 5, 10, 15 trillion in market cap. We're higher. We're way higher. Some people got way higher than what I just mentioned. All right, Darren, thank you so much for the super chat. That was very nice of you. All right. People are thanking everybody here. Also, you guys giving him dabs to Fluffy. You're going to call him Fluffy. All right. Selma Flood says, hey, Max, this day bought us liberty and just tits for all. All right. That sounds good to me. There's nothing wrong with that. All right. Cool Cat Crypto says he had a hole-in-one golf. Oh, jeez. Okay. All right. I also want to welcome Miguel. Happy Independence Day, Max brother. Same to you. Thank you very much. I also want to welcome Cash Cats. I got to get into this outline. Otherwise, I'll just be welcoming people forever, which is fine. Yes, Biggie Smalls is the illest. Caroline style is played out like Arnold. And that what you talking about, Willis, right? Yeah. If Jasmine hits $17, he'll be freaking out. Yeah, are you kidding me? I'll be worth a little over $17 million just off my Jasmine alone. Like, who's not rooting for some of these price levels? We're gonna welcome Magic Power. He says, "Hello, guten Tag, Sie Liechtenstein Exchange, and just me in the house." Boom. All right. I think that might be it. Or wait, I'll read this real quick. When you think about the institutions getting in $17, Jasmine might actually happen. Very true. Be very, very cool. I mean, most people are probably going to do what Boomer's talking about, right? But this is where, like, for me personally, it's like, if that's the case, I would love to have another big bag where I can save it towards like 5 or 10 or 17 of Jasmine. But yes, people treat this like, even with XDC, XDC goes to $1 for what's his name, Salamander, XDC Commander. Like he's mentioned, he's probably good, but does he only do half and keep the rest for later on down the road for utility run? We'll see. All right. Yeah, $1,000. We talked about it last night. Where's Latex Larry at when you need to roast him? I'm sure he's having a wonderful time right now as we speak. As the East Coast rappers would say, if you know what I mean, right? You know what I mean? Right. Yeah. All right. Let's highlight Tim Shea's comment as a bookmark. Let's jump into what we have. So, there's a few things I do want to point out. Let's start off with the overall crypto market. We did dip down from 1.22 trillion to 1.21. Maybe bored with this stuff. I don't know, but I did want to point out a couple things that I noticed here. Zilliqa, I did point out that this whole belief on any asset really that's in the top 100, a sideways consolidation, eventually they'll have a pump. Here's a perfect example. up 20% for the week. It's 10% for the 24-hour period. I mean, you can't just stay at those levels and get consistent multi-millions of volume and just like have no price action. It'll eventually pop off. So I just thought I'd point that out. Some of you guys own some Aave. I look at Aave as like a more expensive version of, Clearpool, right? It's basically the same thing, but a lot more expensive, and of course in the top 50. Okay. That one is up about 24% on the week. We talked about Compound earlier. That thing with Axios, right? Remember we were talking about, XLM, let's pay attention to this thing about Axios, because if we know about Ripple's XRP with on-demand liquidity, this whole thing with Axios is basically the stellar answer to that, is it not? Well, Compound has something to do with that. That was worth pointing out, and is maybe because of that, of all these recent things, nonetheless, up about 55% on the week. So we're going to double check the 7-day chart real quick, and you see what's going on with that, right? Litecoin Lisa, 21%. BCH, still doing well. My graph is doing all right. BSV, not pumping today, but still on average, 16% of the week. My Filecoin, things like that, doing pretty well. All right, I'm going to show you this other one, which is from my watch list. And on this one, there's a few key things I want to point out. On this 24-hour chart, oh my gosh, we should get to Lily Finance. What a beautiful project. Wrong. Just because this thing looks like it's parabolic, what do we see on the volume? $20. It's called, they're out of liquidity, basically, right? This is garbage. It just always has been garbage. This is one of the Saitama partnerships that they kept peddling to everybody. Absolute garbage. Please don't get into this. Please do not waste your money. Okay? They're moving liquidity around. All right, I do need to make an announcement because I know some of you guys are still in the Shiba Doge. I'm still into Shiba Doge. So I want to check my Shiba Doge. It said that I went from like a $90 to like $150. I was like, oh, well, should I get out of this? Well, there's something going on with Shiba Doge. So it's up 46%, 7-day chart 51%. Some of you guys, of course, still believe in Shiba Doge. Some of you don't. But you could totally tell something's going on with the liquidity even with this. Okay. So does that mean they're going to a V2? Probably. I don't know. I mean, we'll find out real quick. I'll try to take you guys to the site. They have unconfirmed market cap at 9.6 million. It's going to pull us up. I know you guys are like, why is he talking about meme tokens? Because a lot of you guys from a couple of years ago, like myself, are invested in some of this stuff. Let's go to Twitter real quick and see if they have anything mentioned in that regard. And they have a one of Vitalik Buterin in there when they did it with Elon Musk. I don't know. It was kind of worth something. I don't see anything in regards to like a V2. Just throwing that out there. So I'm gonna type in like V2. Nothing. Even on my beloved Control F. Nothing about a V2. So if you're part of the Shiba Doge community and you're still in it, like I have been, and no, I'm not chasing any more meme tokens. You know me. Let me know. What's going on with this? Is it? I don't know. Something strange going on with this. So anyway, that's what's up with this. Let me jump back to what we have. Let me jump back one more time. But as far as the volume, let's double check the volume real quick. Where the heck is that? That went away? Really? It went away? That cannot be the case. All right, my CMC is all jacked up, apparently. The SHIB Doge. Oh, it's just like that, right before our very eyes. It's just like, see what I'm saying? Like something weird's going on. All right, but as far as volume, I mean, 92,000 in volume. That's not a lot, but it's supposed to be a small market cap token anyway. So I'll have to look more into it. All right, so enough about this stuff. Enough about that, right? Like meme tokens and stuff like that. Let's jump into some Jasmine. All right, so the other day I mentioned that Hara. Let me see if you guys can hear me okay. Again, please smash the like. We're at 23 likes, 27 people watching. That's not bad. Okay, thank you. I guess you haven't hit the like. So yesterday's show, we talked about how Hara mentioned that, or hinted about, like, hey, there's a key person or key player whoever you want to call it, that approached us at IVS Crypto 2023. Remember we mentioned that yesterday's show, if you've been paying attention? Well, there's an update in regards to that. Let's get into the update. So here we go. Smash a like for some Jasmine, and then we'll get into some other content for you guys here in a bit. But nonetheless, this actually came from Hara. He put in Japanese, and I did translate the tweet. Okay. And from all those Japanese characters, here's what he mentioned. And of course, when I saw the part about BitTrade, I was like, oh, okay, I definitely need to, hit the Google Translate. So he said, for people in Japan, BitTrade, formerly known as Huobi, Japan, is running a campaign where you can get Jasmine by opening an account. We'd like to build a strong partnership, including collaboration for the Hong Kong market. So please take this opportunity to talk about our token. It's kind of like this campaign is to trying to see, like a trial, if you will. They're trying to test the waters. Huobi is, or now known as BitTrade. Just see if it's going to be worthwhile for them to get into Jasmine. That's the bottom line, right? I might not say that, but come on, that's the bottom line. All right. So there's more to it on this, and this was reported, I guess, yesterday, or yesterday for them, today for us, right? Because they're probably about like a day ahead of us. I mean, as far as time goes. Let me interpret this real quick, and here it is. Let me see if you can see it. Now you can see it. Here it is. Smash that like. It states, and let me blow it up just a tad bit more. Make it like super big. You can get Jasmine worth up to 4,000 yen new account opening campaign. I mean, this is what they're advertising over there. Obviously, we're not going to be able to take advantage of this. But here it is. I mean, with their wonderful, I don't know, what is this? Chinese characters and so on. I imagine, because he said Hong Kong, right? So Hong Kong would technically, they speak, they don't speak Mandarin. They speak Cantonese. Okay. So anyway, in Cantonese characters, if you want to call it that, I don't know. Maybe it's all the same characters, but they just speak different languages. You get what I'm saying? All right. It says, thank you for using BitTrade. This time, BitTrade will hold a campaign for new customers. It has all the details about this stuff, right? Campaign period, July 5th, 2023, which is tomorrow, right? See how that's backwards? Oh, it's not backwards. My bad. And it'll end on the 19th, okay? There's a little bit of KYC and stuff like that, but I don't know. I mean, I imagine for people in this region, I mean, if this is the first time they ever heard about Jasmine, you never know, right? It's a good positive catalyst. Thought I'd report on that. All right. We're going to jump into the next part of what we have for Jasmine. Now, on this one, it's a thread. It's an outline. I've been wanting to show that or share this with you guys for a few days now. This comes from Brian, and he is at WC3068. I'll just give you guys this quick little analogy. Okay. So if we talk about tokenizers being like, the goat of research, okay, this guy, Brian, is literally, he's up there when it comes to research, but especially Jasmine. I believe like all his focus is Jasmine. So you could call him a Jasmine Maxi, but let's be polite in a nice way. He kills it with the research. I referenced it quite a few times. Very nice gentleman. Always is featured on those Sunday Twitter Spaces and so on. But let's jump into this. So he states that when Hara shared the Evita blockchain PC, that PDF, right, presentation, this other guy, another great researcher, Dip Metaverse, picked up on a very major partnership. So we're going to get into some of this stuff here in a bit as well. Again, please smash that like. I'm going to keep saying that because, it'd be kind of nice if we could at least tick up to 30. We understand that the number is going to be down because it's 4th of July. There's people out there, shooting off fireworks, having a good time, eating some baked beans, potato salad, you name it, right? So upcoming Evita blockchain PC models designed by IP3 Technology, Xinjiang Tech out of Shanghai. Let's dive in. We referenced some of these things. Okay. So I think I shared some of this before, but it's not exactly the same as what you saw before. Okay. And here a little bit about it. We've seen some of this. and of course some of their goals, right? So that's pretty cool stuff. The company profile, the IP3 tech. Basically, this part right here is good stuff as well. So it says IP3 technology has a very important relationship with Microsoft and Intel. And it's funny how, Jasmine may not have direct partnerships with some of these guys, but again, it's nice to be partnered with other guys who will get you the job done for the tech, some of the things that go into the actual parts of these laptops and so on, right? The Internet of Things. So BoyDog7, I think it's another guy I follow, found this link on Intel describing the relationship with IP3. So actually, I'm going to point this out. Main IP3 website below that link. Here it is. Let's pull this up for a second. All right. And it's going to take a moment to basically translate this. Give me a second. I had this primed and ready to go earlier, but I had to restart my computer, if you guys remember that. I just hope it loads up, because last time it didn't load up. And it's not loading up. All right. Well, we don't have to do that part. Let me jump back. I apologize. All right. It loaded up before. All right. So we'll just jump down to this part. This part's good stuff as well. I don't know about you, but my graphics cards and so on, I've gone with, Asus. Some people call it Asus. I always call it Asus. I've gone with my Asus graphics cards since, I think my first video card that was worth mentioning, right, was a GeForce 2 Titanium back in 2002, 2001, 2002, when I was playing Medal of Honor, Allied Assault, Counter-Strike, the first Counter-Strike. And I had an Asus graphics card, and I just always gone with them. They're just better quality, and I don't know, just a good brand. Not having to do all the customizable stuff, switching over from an aluminum heatsink to copper. Just always seems to be that brand that was just a little bit better than some of the others. To each his own, right? All right, let's get back into this. One thing that stood out the most was its list of major partners. Some are already recognizable, like Jasmine Partner, Press VAIO. Shout out to GF Burke, who doesn't like me to mention anything about VAIO because he's going to say, "What are you going to do, Max? Showcase a 1990s laptop from VAIO?" I get where you're coming from. It says most people will also recognize Asus. Yes, we just said it. Toshiba as well. We understand Toshiba has key partnerships with Bajet. Bajet is heavily partnered, obviously, with Jasmine. Even some of the same, people. Kunitake Ando, Kazumasa Sato, right? But to keep this thread to just an overview, we'll touch on just a couple. And, I'll hit the back button here in a bit. But, it says, for instance, let me just jump back into this. Oh, here it is. Jesse of KIR Finance, shout out to him. He gave us a shout out on, his recorded video. That was really cool. It stands for Keeping It Real Finance, right? Last year, Jesse found that the parent company of VAIO, since its 2014 buyout from Sony, listen to this, guys. I know that we're all talking about 4th of July or Caroline or whatever the heck you're talking about, right? Maybe talking about potato salad or, how you shot somebody with a Roman candle, over the roof of your house, and it somehow lobbed it over to the guy's head, and and then somebody had to get the ice pack and, administer, medical attention to this person. I don't know. Crazy stuff happens on 4th of July, right? But whatever the case be, let's listen to this for a second, okay? So that parent company of VAIO, since its 2014 buyout from Sony, is Japan Industrial Partners. JIP is also in the process of buying out Toshiba Group, right? Worth pointing out. Now, on top of this, how about some of this recent AMAs? Brian points out, we know from Hara, this recent AMA hosted by Tycho Tweets, who is tracking the intersection of art, crypto, and data ownership, mentioned that Jasmine was in talks with Asus. Wow. So we talk about the Internet of Things. You know how bullish that sounds? You know how key that is? I mean, it's like, some projects will talk about like we're in a key partnership with Funatiki. Who the heck is Funatiki? I never heard of Funatiki. Oh, okay. They're the subsidiary of Zhaojing 2. I never heard of Zhaojing 2. Have you? No. But I definitely have heard of ASUS because I'm a gamer, right? And most gamers have heard about ASUS. I mean, if a gamer has been around for even just, I don't know, 2 years or more when it comes to building a custom built PC, especially if they're like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to get a RTX, 4080, right? ASUS, RTX 4080. Okay, that's a very expensive video card. There's other ones, I get it. But then more than likely you heard of ASUS, okay? And even if you're not a gamer, I think some people heard of ASUS. And, like it mentions, I mean, he said that they're also working with Microsoft and Intel. I mean, these are all really, really big names. But even not mentioning Microsoft and Intel, right, who are the bigger players, ASUS, that's very, very impressive. Now, IP3 may be the connection to all of that. Again, it's just like, it's more than just rubbing elbows. Just, hey, let's get partnered with this company who has connections to this other company. We don't have to be direct partners of, some of these other guys that are tied into it. But, it all makes sense. All right. There's more. We're always talking about Jasmine with the smart cities, society 5.0. All these things are worth pulling out, right? Absolutely. So let's look back to IP3 technology. They are working on a few things in China that could be very relevant to Jasmine. They sell a lot of hardware, but their two solutions were very interesting. And I want to state this, right? So I know this is a Jasmine segment, okay? I put out a Stellar XLM video about the whole thing of, Elon Musk and Starlink and Jed McCaleb and Vast. This guy posted, until I hear it out of Elon Musk's mouth, I don't believe it. Okay, well, I hope this guy has, for instance, what? That he already has his bags packed on XLM. But let's say he's the type of guy who doesn't have his bags packed. And he's like, I'm never going to get into Stellar until I hear from Elon Musk's mouth. Let me tell you something. If that is the people's belief when it comes to acquiring digital assets such as Stellar or, for instance, such as Jasmine with some of these, to have things confirmed, you are going about crypto the absolute wrong way. You do not want to accumulate these digital assets, right, at these prices, or I should say at future prices like that after things have been confirmed. So that poor guy is going to literally wait for Stellar to be, worth over $1 or more or $5 and so. Oh, now I'm going to get into Stellar when you have the opportunity at 10 cents. Or how about this, Jasmine? I'm going to get this Jasmine. Now it's like, 50 cents or something like that when you could have got it for pennies on the dollar, like what it is right now. That's just absolutely ridiculous. That's how people get not only wrecked, but you're just not, you don't understand the whole thing of the concept, of the accumulation phase. That's just ridiculous. So yeah, they sell a lot of hardware, but their two solutions were very interesting. Let's blow this up for a second. 5G products, mini PCs, Internet of Things, like it shows right here. 5G smart park. What is that, right? It says the R&D personnel fully draws on the operating experience of domestic advanced parks. We talk about Society 5.0, especially when it comes to Jasmine, Japan, and so on. Introduction to the smart city plan. Understand that, like, all these companies that we're talking about, right? Whether it's Microsoft, Intel, I guess ASUS, Toshiba, many, many other ones and so on. Even Google, I guess you could say. They're all part of this mix of these concepts. Maybe we never see these concepts of smart cities in the United States, and maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. Some people feel as though, like, I don't want that over here. I get that. But just because we don't agree about it over here in the United States doesn't mean that there aren't cultures in the world where they are literally actively working to accomplish some of these things. Okay. And that has value. It has a tremendous amount of value because these Internet of Things are part of the mix. I know this is quite the outline, and I will get back into the comments, but I want to show you guys a little bit more about this because this is a pretty big update. It states that 5G smart park life solutions. This has IoT technology as the core components of the solution. Now, I was born and raised in Southeast Portland, Oregon. I lived directly across from a park. It was called Mount Scott Park. I have fond memories of the park. Today's 4th of July. We lived on the corner lot, of the 74th Avenue. And we used to always shoot off our fireworks and go way out into the field, into the park. Some of you guys maybe heard of the concept of like a block party and stuff like that. I'm telling you that I'll never like trade those memories. Those are precious times in my book with friends, family, and so on, that a lot of them are not even here anymore. And it was such a wonderful time. But like, when I think about like, back then a park, well, what about like, where we're at now? A modern type of park, a smart park. What is that? So, I'm not going to jump into the IP3-tech because I think we tried to go there earlier and then, some problems with the interpretation. But here's a little bit of those highlights for you guys if you hold Jasmine and you're like, this is a segment that I appreciate. Even though there might not be a lot of people here tonight, we're going to jump into some of this stuff. So here it basically is. And then, of course, these are screenshots taken from the actual IP3 site. But Yingzhong Technology 5G Smart Park Life Solution. Here's the background of the project. The R&D personnel fully drew on the operating experience of domestic advanced parks, fully considering the service carriers of the park and the user portraits of enterprises and personnel at the same time. Make a panoramic 5G digital again, it's kind of messed up with the translation, but combining the enterprises solution and future development of the park. There's a little more about this. This is application fields, smart security, smart fire protection. I mean, everything as far as like compliance, right? Parking, lighting, you name it, right? All this stuff being applied to it, mobile payment-based business services. And think about that for a moment, right? There's going to be, of course, the chosen ones for the payment rails. I mean, if Ripple is showing up to IVS Crypto 2023 as a diamond sponsor, you better believe that they see the future vision for smart cities. We get that. We're not saying that Jasmine is going to be used as a form of payment, but what we are going to say is that Jasmine is going to be used for what, guys? For its main utility layer, and that is for personal data lockers. People want their data protected. And of course, with them having Hyperledger Fabric and so on, we understand that every major project that is tied into data consistently is using Hyperledger Fabric. How do we know that? Perfect example is what you see, for instance, with Casper. All right, going more into this. What are some of the advantages of this? Well, there's tons of advantages of it and so on, right? But like it says, big screen technology of visualized data for real-time status and big data, making it an indispensable business tool for park management decision makers to manage and operate the park. Here's an idea of like, the reach, right, of where the signals go out and so on. It's kind of hard to see it on this visual. So if anything, I'm going to copy this and blow it up a little bit bigger for you guys. So let's take you to this tab instead. And on this particular tab, I'm going to come out of the screen for a second. So here we go. I'm going to take off this banner real quick so it's easier to see. A couple of them. All right, so let's draw some emphasis to this. Smart park, okay? So the things are kind of hard to see here, and that's why I, decided to blow it up more. Basically speaking, it's not so much about the smart parking. I mean, some people like that. I mean, let's face it, we can have a lot more efficient parking. I mean, nobody likes to go to a big event and drive around over and over and make circles, if you will, trying to find a parking spot, right? Hence why a lot of us do use, for instance, our phones to try to like have an app that will literally tell us like, hey, you know what, there's an open parking space and such and such parking garage. I don't know if you guys ever done that. I'm telling you flat out, if you haven't done that yet, it's worth it. All right. But what about having something which always consistently does something like that? That's big, right? Smart elevators, right? I don't know how that's going to work, just being honest. Video surveillance. This is, of course, where a lot of Americans, they don't like this, right? I don't like being monitored by this surveillance. But you got to keep in mind, different culture, different area, they have accepted this, right? There's value with this. A smart street light. How's that going to work? I mean, is it kind of like similar to, a guy who just randomly drives by your neighborhood and then automatically, like, you have the brightest freaking light in all of, like where I live, Phoenix, Arizona, and it's just blaring into my room, like somebody, flashing the high beams because this guy feels insecure. Oh, I'm gonna have this super high beam light blaring into Max's bedroom to keep him up all day night long, for he can't sleep, because I am the type of guy who I don't want to own any type of weapon anyway. I just want to have a bright light. Thank you so much. Right? Yeah. All right. Then on top of that, look at some of this other stuff: border protection, energy management. I mean, we could go on and on. Equipment maintenance, public information release. What's that all about? Public broadcasting, real-time positioning, central monitoring system, a smart home, an eye. I don't even know what the heck that is. Smart access control and building intercom. Again, things that contribute not only to a smart city, but a smart park. Let's jump back to what we have here on this this outline real quick. So there's a little bit more, obviously. And let me jump back to this. So there's, I don't know, we're getting close to wrapping this up. I know this is a lot because I got to get back into the comments. Let me jump back into the full screen layout, or, coming back here if you can see me. Brian also talks about the smart city solution. He says communication tech, sensing tech, big data, like some of the stuff we talked about, right? Compared to like a traditional smart city plan. If some people are asking, what is a traditional smart city plan? Are you kidding me? Like, look everywhere, right? That's right in front of you. This also uses current grid infrastructure and replaces old tech with smart tech. How so? Let's blow that up. The project background and construction goals, it says the deficiencies of traditional streetlights in terms of energy consumption, safety, functions, and management can be all based on smart streetlights. Various communication methods, rich sensing devices, and mature big data technologies can reduce energy consumption. Now, how about this? I'm from the old school, right? Like, I was part of that generation where, we went out and we played out in the street. Okay. We rode bicycles and stuff like that. Not like, I hate to say it, like this generation, you hardly see any kids outside. I have one neighbor who has his kids. They ride bikes and so on. I want to go up to that guy and literally congratulate him and say, hey, you know what? That's awesome. You're encouraging your kids to play outside. I mean, I wouldn't recommend them playing outside right now. In Phoenix, it's 111 degrees, but you get my point. But they're always around the year playing outside and, taking in some of the old school life, if you will, right? So my thing is this, right? And I'm sure a lot of old school people are here too. And that is basically, what did our parents tell us? Like, what did your mom tell you back in the day when it came to streetlights? All right, you see that street light? Okay, if that street light comes, if the city turns that thing on, that means you get your butt home. Right? That was a classic thing, right? We didn't need to have a freaking watch or any of that. I mean, I had a watch anyway. I'd always just like having a watch. But yeah, that comes on, street light. That means take your butt home immediately. Like, pedal home. If you're not that far away, walk home, whatever the case. Just get home, okay? But how about a street light that makes it a little bit more smarter tech, right? So 90% operation and maintenance cost reduction. At the end of the day, if we're talking about being more energy efficient, burning less carbon, this is all part of this equation. Basic functions: remotely control the lighting and dimming of lamps. So maybe it's not that it turns off; it just doesn't need to waste as much energy. You know what I mean? Maybe as it sees on the sensors that something is approaching, then it brightens up. I mean, again, things that make sense. I don't need to get into all this. Here's a little idea of how some of these things look. The PC workstation, central control center. I don't need to really blow up all this stuff. You kind of have an idea. But it's a breakdown completely of how all this works. Like this one, the Internet of Things gateway. Again, you could take more of a deep dive into this. I'm going to jump down to this part. And Brian talks about this. He says, while he's still skeptical that the CCP will adopt data democracy, right? Let's face it. Smart cities elsewhere will need to incorporate tech like Jasmine's in order to comply with GDPR and APPI data privacy laws. Now, on my, I think it was my second to last deep dive. Actually, it was the last one. So let me think about that. I don't know. It was either the last one or the second to last one. I did address APPI. And if you're wondering what APPI basically is like, here in the United States, we have HIPAA laws. APPI is the way you should look at that for Japan. Basically, it's the same thing for the most part, but the Japanese version of it. Basically, the medical industry, what can they do with your data? Who could view the forms, so on and so forth. So, for instance, there's a scenario that says, let's look at, Pegatron. And just do it for a brief moment. I mean, again, this is kind of a deep dive, but hear me out on some of this stuff, because I think the concept of smart cities, smart parks, all this is worth paying attention, because my thing is, if you go to any grocery store, right? Like I had to do it last night. I had to use the grocery store's Wi-Fi because there was no service in that darn grocery store. I don't know what the heck happened. It was like I was going to the hospital. There's zero service. And I needed to use the app in order to get my coupons and stuff, right? Well, what about like a concept of, some of these other things, that we're talking about, obviously, okay? So here's the thing, all right? And let me jump back to this. It says, ASUS got its name from the Greek winged horse Pegasus. Pegatron was founded by the co-founders and leadership of the ASUS and is a major Taiwan player. I'm not going to get to all the history about it and so on, but of course we know that's worth pointing out. It says, once again, it is easy to see that all the tech around Pegatron, who's obviously tied into ASUS, could easily incorporate Jasmine. Again, you got to keep in mind the personal data, these PDLs, just like every other IP3 tech partner, but there are two other things or interesting things about them. And let's pull up some of this stuff. They have major shareholders worth pointing out. And how about this? Some of you guys are in, you're not just invested into crypto, you are invested into stocks. What is one of the best performing stocks out there, right? This is not financial advice. I'm not into it. I wish I was early. It's NVIDIA. Okay. So we understand that, we should pay attention to all this stuff. So look at some of the major shareholders. There's ASUS Tech Inc., total shares owned. Look at the percentage of ownership. Morgan Stanley's on this list, but ASUS ranks higher than most of these other guys. When you get more into this, it talks about some of the management team and so on. I'm going to jump to this next part. And that is wearable technology. All right, look at this. Wearable devices emphasize fashionable, compact, and design. I know you not say that word, and they often feature user-friendly, intuitive user interface. We talk about GPS tracking systems. Again, all this stuff in a smart city or smart park is going to make sense. IoT products, having it to be like low power consumption. Again, the example about that light doesn't need to be fully on, blazing 24/7. As I get more and more into this, I like this part from Boy Dog 7, where he talks about some of the recent news that Pegatron partnered with TWS to enable 5G private cloud enterprise service. To quote him, TWS provides blockchain as a service. And then remember I was talking about Hyperledger Fabric? Well, like it says, you guessed it, Hyperledger Fabric. How so? Well, they have a press release in regards to all this. So why pay attention to this? Well, it gets into some of the more nitty-gritty details. And with some of these nitty-gritty details, you do see this. Let's blow this up. Hopefully you guys see this. Let me double check the other page. Yeah, you guys see this. So please smash that like. I did see that we ticked up. Maybe we can get up to the 40s. But if you pay attention to Jasmine, you want to watch this. So April 25th, 2023. Were you aware that Taiwan Web Service partnered with Pegatron, again, that ASUS connection, to enable a 5G private cloud enterprise service? It goes on to mention that this, was a collaboration between Taiwan Web Services, which is TWS, and Pegatron to introduce 5G O-RAN open architecture solutions to TWS 5G AI ready mobile edge cloud. My God, remember we talking about Jasmine with edge computing? How many times did we mention that? Did we forget about that? This is important to pay attention to. And it basically mentions that platform AI HPC public cloud service. The key focus and targeted global 5G cloud vertical market will be smart manufacturing, smart cities, smart healthcare. Think about that for a second. Smart transportation, culture innovation, education, and entertainment. Everything that contributes to what? Society 5.0. A lot of people feel as though there is not Society 5.0 yet. Right, there isn't. There, just for the same reason why there isn't full Web 3. If anything, I would call it Society 4.5 at this point. In regards to Pegatron, Open Architecture Solutions supports ORAN, E2 Open Interface, and 3GPP standard interfaces for ORAN compliant cloud deployments in the TW5 5G AI ready mobile edge cloud platform. And it provides high availability, high scalability. Everybody's talking about can you scale? Well, high scalability, there you go, and high performance 5G network coverage for the complete 5G private cloud service. The end-to-end 5G cloud solution will bring customers a whole new 5G cloud premium service experience. Why so? Well, at the end of the day, you have to have something that's going to be fast and efficient. If we're talking about scalability, like I've always said, I have to have the same user experience as you and everybody else. What's the point of having a smart park or a smart city and so on contributing to Society 5.0 if you're going to get throttled or, everybody's not going to have the same user experience? That would defeat the whole purpose of things, right? You have to have these services working going 1,000 miles an hour, working at light speed, I should say, not even 1,000 miles an hour. This quote's pretty good, and then I won't read the rest of this. This is good stuff. The 5G AI ready platform offers a variety of vertical integration services and workloads that not only lower the barriers to enable cross-domain technology for enterprises, but also reduce the system integration and implementation time and cost, helping enterprises to have, listen to this, one-stop digital transformation and boost enterprise innovation with subscription-based cloud services, said Peter Wu, CEO of ASUS Cloud and TWS. Let's talk about that for just a brief moment. Subscription-based cloud services. I mean, we know, for instance, shout out to Tim Shea, a subscription-based cloud service is what makes Flux stand out. Okay. And it's 90% cheaper than using Amazon Web Services for Amazon Cloud Web Services, I should say. About 90% difference compared also to Google Cloud Services and so on. But my thing is this: when we talk about Jasmine and getting that option to monetize that data and tie it into some of these subscription-based services, you can have an idea of how this will all be tied in together. Now, I'm going to jump back to a little bit more about this, and let me just share this tab instead. This right here, okay, and that's a little bit more about Taiwan Web Services, BAAS, which is called Blockchain as a Service Platform. Now, you may be thinking, how is this all tied into Jasmine? You better believe that if Jasmine is partnered up, for instance, with ASUS, and ASUS has heavy ties to Microsoft and Intel and some of these other things, all of it coming together as a collaboration, if you will, to get the job done of what? Smart parks, smart cities, and so on. I love using this as an example, this analogy, to give you guys a broader idea of why this matters. And basically speaking, is again, how we look at a major motion picture. A movie is not made by one person, right? An actor doesn't make a movie. I mean, you might see famous actors that later become producers or directors and so on, right? Shout out to Michael Douglas. He was a famous TV actor on a TV show I absolutely loved, which was called The Streets of San Francisco, featuring Carl Malden, R.I.P. Carl Malden. And then after the fifth season, or right when the fifth season was going to start, he decides to branch out into like, a Hollywood movie. And then hence why he was the executive producer of what? One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And that basically did what? Won Best Picture. My point being is he's just one guy. All right. Motion pictures are more than just one guy for the most part, unless it's like a very low budget film. And even those even still have a handful of people. But my point is, just like a motion picture, you got to look at this whole thing of the smart cities, smart parks, and so on. All these key partnerships, all these key players, whether it's TWS, Taiwan Web Service, whether it's ASUS, whether it's Google, Microsoft, some of these other guys mentioned, Toshiba. Okay. But this one, blockchain as a service. Look what's mentioned here. TWCC BaaS platform, as in blockchain as a service, provides Hyperledger Fabric and Hyperledger BSU architectures. Who uses Hyperledger Fabric? Jasmine. And it says, for instance, an easy-to-use, secure, reliable, and stable environment to help the landing of blockchain applications. Based on the features provided by TWCC, blockchain as a service application developers can complete the basic tenant management, contract invocation, result query, and even listening to build an enterprise class blockchain network in a time-saving and low-cost manner. You don't think that's big for Jasmine, who wants to keep everything at low cost? If they're talking about contributing to the Society 5.0, Society 5.0 is all about making things more faster, efficient, and low cost. All right. I don't know if I've mentioned this next one. Yeah, a little bit of VAIO. I mean, that's good stuff, but we already know about some of this stuff. I will mention this in closing on this segment because I know it's quite the deep dive. This one, Janus BIOS Shield Secure PC is different than Jasmine. Sometimes we got to mention some of like the potential competition, right? And does not use blockchain. So in reality, it's like some people point out, is there some real competition for Jasmine? Well, yeah. But is it on blockchain? Answer is no. Okay. But it was very interesting connection. Not quite sure if they are still operating. One of the things that became their solution, but they, of course, were also using, and look at this, guys. You go with a model that works, right? They're also using VAIO as well as ASUS models. And there's more to it here. You're welcome to nerd out. There's some of the specs. This, of course, is Janus Secure PC Desktop. It doesn't, it's not a secure blockchain PC. All right. There's what it looks like. Again, I'm not gonna get into all this. You can nerd it out in your own time. A little bit of VAIO. There you go. Right. Thought I'd give it an honorable mention. Then now in closing, like I says, there is way too much to post in this thread, and I already mentioned way too much, right? But I do like sharing you guys this information from an educational standpoint because it's definitely worth paying attention to. If you don't like hearing about Society 5.0, then you should be into Jasmine anyway, unless you're the type of guy who just apes into stuff. We can agree to disagree on that. Don't mean no offense. So there is way too much to post in the thread. He just wanted to give us a snapshot in regards to IP3 tech. I'm telling you flat out, you're going to see more about IP3. In his opinion, this is good company for Jasmine. I agree in regards to its Asian expansion, not its U.S. expansion, because you understand that's not going to really make sense over here in the United States. Again, different cultures. He looks forward to seeing how Jasmine will play a role in this tech web. I do as well, but you kind of see it all kind of coming together. If we have, what's his name? Akira, right? He is the, Jasmine ambassador to China, just like Haru is the Jasmine ambassador to Japan and I guess other areas. It's definitely worth paying attention to. This last part, and this will round it off for the outline, I believe. Yeah, it will. Brian mentions Icy Amphibian. This is another content creator, provides a lot of research. Stated that he found some patents and tech info to go through, but it's currently at sea. Additional sources that wouldn't fit in the thread about some of this about Adobe, HK Corporation, and Janus, and so on. I'm gonna take more of a look into some of this stuff, but it's gonna be on another deep dive. But I know I kept you guys for quite a while right now, and I need to get back into the comments. Let me see where we're at on the time. 7:24. My God. Anyway, let me just jump back. Thank you guys for being here. And I'm gonna turn some stuff back on. All right. I'm probably way behind on the comments, but that's okay. When am I not behind on the comments, right? Well, at least I have some material. I mean, if I didn't have no material, I guess I'd be all caught up on the comments, right? So it's kind of like a catch-22, is it not? You know, it's like you can't have your cake and eat it too. All right. I see Mr. OG Crypto's in the house. Mr. Gangster. Let me tell you about the days of way back. Oh, man. All right, here we go. Okay. So here's the last one I was at. 6:39. My God. All right. Almost an hour, not quite. Larry is popping off firecrackers with the rock girl. Jeez, that'd be something. Having some guava juice. Good stuff. No one will hold Jasmine up to $17. Almost everyone will have sold everything at $1. There are some exceptions. I would say the biggest majority of people will be doing that, because otherwise that's extreme diamond hands, right? I agree with you on that. This is why I state for myself why I don't want to just have one bag of Jasmine. I want to have one bag for achieving $1. I want to have another bag for achieving like $5, $10, maybe $17, right? That's just the way that I look at it. And that's why I have new goals for Jasmine. I don't expect everybody to have the same type of outlook, right? But this fuels the debate of having more than one bag. All right, let's see where we're at. Larry's taking Carolina for a spin on one of his bidets. Says Brian Dowie. AZ Marines from the Sniper says, remember the bull market tops out roughly a year after the BTC halving. That's good stuff. Hulk had a $2.99 super chat. I've had him, Tim Shea. I watched his show. I saw somebody a while back donate over $400 on a super chat for him. Little known fact, before Mr. Cha did the joined up, did the Meta Monkey AI thing, or MMAI. I know you guys don't like to be called that. Sorry about that. MMAI. Long before MMAI, he dropped us a $400 super chat at one point too. That was like April of 2022. Anyway. All right, let's go further down. Dave D says hello to everyone. Welcome back, Dave D. And let's see if you guys got anything specific. Brian Dowie. He said when XRP takes off, his memberships will cost $500. Don't think I'll get a free one then. He's gonna charge $500 for a membership. Jeez. But I'm sure some people will sign up for it. All right, baked beans, fireworks, and Carolina in that order. I haven't had my dinner yet, so later tonight, because immediately after I'm done with the show, I gotta go pick up this kid, give him a ride home, because I don't know. I'll see if he wants to see some fireworks, but he's the type of kid he just is like totally antisocial, anti everything, whatever. I might just go watch some fireworks by myself or something, or I have fireworks to shoot off, but my attitude is like, am I really going to shoot off my own fireworks by myself? And I have all the good stuff. I have all the great, good, awesome stuff from Indian reservations and so on. I think I'll just save it for, the future. Maybe, I don't know, 2025 bull run or something. Who knows? All right. JC the man, how do you like the weather? Here in Phoenix, it's hotter than the hubs of Megatron. Okay, my friend, JC the man, Josh Cornwell. Thank you. Good to see you, Josh. Hopefully you got to enjoy some fireworks. I'm sure that, your dad is a very fun guy. Probably hooked you up with some fun fireworks and so on. I got that feeling. All right. And your mom too. I'll state this, man. A few years ago, my friend Jerry Tapia, who watches this show once in a while, he comes on here as Monster. That's his gaming name. His girlfriend, well, I guess actually it's his wife now. Sorry, great woman, right? Her name is Paulina. Oh my gosh, like I would never do this, but she would do it, which I don't recommend this. And whatever you do, not you, Josh, nobody here, right? She would literally take M80s in her hand, light it, and throw it like a firecracker. Like I do firecrackers, real thunder bomb firecrackers, but I'm not gonna do no M80, hold it in my hand and throw it, like a couple of them like came within like a couple inches. I'm like, you're gonna freaking like blow off one of your thumbs or something, you know? But to each his own. Mr. OG Crypto, yes, welcome. Mr. Gangsta. Tell me about the days of way back. These old school small bottle rockets were the best. The ones they made illegal. Yeah, I still have a whole bunch of those old school bottle rockets. I got a bunch of stuff that my dad kept from the 1980s from the Indian reservations. He bought all this stuff saying, we're going to save a cache of all this for my future grandson. And it's just the only thing is he never got to have a future grandson yet, but whatever. All right. Blackwood says the first word he hears on the stream is Fumakiki, and I'm guessing it's about Caroline. Oh, geez. Nah, I was just throwing out some random example, like some BS company. All right, let's see what we got. Elon Musk says, woohoo, I just went outside and shot 150 rounds, and we're still on Jasmine. All right. Elon Musk, Squidward, and I just unloaded a 100-round drum. Oh, he came down to see you? That's cool, man. I didn't know that. Well, at least you guys are having a fun time. God knows. Oh, man, I hate these times. I'm just gonna be honest. I just try to focus on other stuff. But going back and forth to the hospital lately, my they said my dad's gonna be there for a little bit longer, and then I don't know. Whatever. Someone FUD, his first computer was from Radio Shack, and it was Tandy, and they're part of a Texas Instruments. I've had a few Texas Instruments. All right, I'm going to read a couple more comments. Happy 4th of July, CTN fan, from Mr. Lambo's Crypto Talk. Thank you. Please smash that like if you guys haven't done so. Corey Bebe says he doesn't think we have had a real utility crypto run. I'm ready for it. We've never had a utility run. It's never happened yet. You will know when it happens. When it happens, it's a heck of a lot bigger than just like a boom cycle. Yeah, there's never been a utility run yet. All right. Now, we're going to get into the next thing. And let's see what we have it. Let me check the other screen. Wayne Side's in the house. He's like 26 billion milady. Welcome, Wayne Side. Hope you had a good surf. What's that Tim Shea asked me? What did you ask me, Tim Shea? You mentioned my name. You mentioned my duck sauce. Man. Something about play it max. Play what? I am missing something here. I lost the darn thing because you guys are typing fast. Oh, we should go visit Max. We love you, Max. Oh, well, thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, someday. Probably when I have my own place. I don't really have any visitors over because my dad, he just doesn't want anybody over here, and he gets angry about stuff, and it's I don't know. It's one of those things, you know. Otherwise, you could be more than welcome. So I do appreciate that. Thank you, though. It's a thought that counts, right? All right, let's jump back to what we have. I'm going to go ahead and share what I have. Please smash the like. Maybe we could tick up into the 40s. That'd be super cool. All right, so we covered quite a bit on Jasmine. Maybe you're just tired of hearing about Jasmine. Max talked about Jasmine for an hour and 15 minutes. My God, I don't want to hear anymore about freaking Jasmine. Well, then you're going to hear about XDC. You're going to hear more about some of this data talk and trade. Data and trade. Let's jump into some XDC. You know me, baby, right? Biggie Smalls, Big Papa, Biggie Smalls, Mike Cornwell, represent baby. Oh, all right, let's get into this. This comes from Cryptonaire D. You know, he's Detroit. You the D. You the new kid on the block about to get smacked back to the boondocks. Freaking Pepe. Your meme token ain't your type, so take some real advice and form a group with Vanilla Ice. And when I tell you, you better use this. This is XDC, not the hilly-billy music. All right, here we go. If you listen to hilly-billy music, it's okay. I'm just trying to make a weird rhyme. All right, XDC Monetary Authority of Singapore. Listen to this, guys. MAS has announced new requirements for digital payment token DPT service providers to say keep customer assets under a statutory trust before the end of the year. This reported straight from Singapore yesterday, July 3rd. If you're wondering why we mention this, because it will mitigate risk. Oh, I didn't know that. Well, here we go. This will basically mitigate the risk of loss or misuse of customers' assets. All sounds good, right? Very, very good. And facilitate the recovery of customers' assets in the event of a DPT service provider's insolvency. Yes, we are on the topic of insolvency. Yes, again, come on, guys. It gets mentioned at least once every, 1 to 3 months? Or once every 3 months. I would say on average within the last year and a half of doing this, covering crypto, we do mention what exchange is going to be potentially insolvent, right? MAS will also restrict DPT service providers from facilitating lending and staking of DPT tokens by their retail customers. Now, of course, I use KuCoin. I understand that we're not going to be able to, I guess we won't be able to do any more spot trading. I don't know. I think Cool Cat was talking about some of that last night. We have to get some more confirmation. But to my understanding on KuCoin, all we're going to be able to do is basically sell or withdrawal, right? Kind of sucks, But KuCoin, one of the things that stands out about KuCoin is also the lending. They have a lot of lending. So what's going to happen with this? I mean, we know that KuCoin's out of Singapore as well. So here's some of this reference that you see here. I'm not going to jump into all of this, okay? But, this was published on yesterday, okay? MAS is now seeking public feedback on the draft legislation amendments to the payment service regulations to put these requirements into effect. Let's go to the next page. Basically speaking, MAS had consulted the broad regulatory approach, listen to this, on market integrity in October 2022 public consultation. Most respondents agreed with MAS observations, on good industry practice to address market integrity risks, and some respondents suggested that MAS should impose further measures to prevent market abuse and unfair trading practices. This fuels the whole debate of that regulatory clarity. All right, getting more into this. All right. Yeah, like this guy said, where's the XDC headquarters? It's in Singapore. So it kind of makes sense for them to come out with some of this. All right, so forget the whole thing about regulations and so on. As far as like an actual article, let's get an actual visual about some of this stuff. So we have reported in the past in regards to the electronic documents trade and so on, right? Especially with XDC, the main thing that stands out about XDC is obviously the trade industry. Always is mentioned, trade. XDC inaugurated the electronic trade documents bill is set to come into law in September with MLeader. We've done a deep dive about MLeader, okay? We're going to play this. They're going to give you kind of an update on where we're going, this path towards September. Smash that like. I think this is the first video I got to play today. So here's finally a visual. Here we go.
Do you have an estimate of when you think it's going to come into force?
Again, we are hoping for September. Yes, it looks like September if things go as planned. I don't know if you, Carl, or Emanuela or Alex have any other insights into this.
Yeah, it's as far as I'm aware, there is the third reading, which effectively brings it into law, will happen before recess. So it will definitely happen before the end of this session of Parliament. So, and actually, I was with an MP yesterday who sits on the Trade Committee, who's obviously very keen in getting this through as soon as possible. And his view very much was, yes, the final reading will happen within the next couple of weeks. So to your point, Gunnar, yes, it should be passed with royal assent before recess, which is, I think, what, mid-July. So, which would then probably bring it into law in September. That's my understanding anyway.
Fantastic. All right. Now, Alex.
That's right around the corner. You know, so many crazy dates coming up. July 20th, FedNow, this whole thing in regards to, you know, the trade industry in September. How about this other one? Let's get more into it. So we shared this in regards to the electronic trade documents bill. We have a little bit more XDC for you. This one is also worth paying attention to in regards to Finastra. So here's an update. And let me come back into the frame. Okay. So on this one, it says XDC Finastra Fusion Trade Innovation Front End and Back End. Again, a little bit of an update, right? So, you know, saw that little brief video in regards to Inigio, whatever you want to call it. Inigio, man. All right. Original/competent trade AI. This one is not that long. All right. Let me play
now,
this.
let's have a look inside.
Let's rewind it. And then after the video, there's like a couple slides, but it's good stuff. Some of you guys are interested in this, especially if you hold XDC, you do need to pay attention to this. So go ahead and play this. Here we go.
Now, let's have a look inside the bank and see how the solution benefits Brian, Head of Trade Finance Operations. Brian needs to optimize compliance checks and streamline the document checking process, so transactions are turned around quicker for Engine Parts Inc. A member of Brian's operations team uploads the documents, and the system automatically completes sanctions and compliance checks. Checks for consistency and identifies potential discrepancies. This information is fed directly into Fusion Trade Innovation for processing. The document and sanctions check-in solutions were delivered as a pre-integrated app from Finastra, allowing us to realize value immediately through reducing the need for additional testing. With a unified digital channel and a market-leading back office for working capital finance, I've been able to reduce operating costs by 60% and support clients who were previously unable to grow their business or access financing. Are you ready to deliver new products and services to your corporate clients at faster speed and lower cost? With Finastra, you can. Imagine a world with Fusion Trade Innovation. Win new business, deliver new products at speed, and reduce operating costs with an integrated, automated working capital finance solution. Improve customer experience through a front-to-back solution that gives a consolidated view of transactions and data for both the bank and the client. Future-proof your business with an ecosystem of pre-integrated value-add apps built with open APIs and available in the cloud. The future of working capital finance is open with Finastra.
All right. So I'm going to show you guys the rest of this in regards to like Finastra and so on. Let me just get into this. Okay, present it again. All right. So here's a little bit of Finastra, whatever you want to call it. You see this right here on how it has a little bit of a breakdown, right? The Fusion Trade Innovation industry leading booking engine, open digital channels, AI and automation, digital at source, so on and so forth. You see some of these things in regards to their initiative. Hybrid blockchain for industry-wide tracking and funding of trade assets, obviously XDC. You see Inigio, where you want to call it, digital negotiable instruments, DNI, digital bills of exchange and promissory notes. Superior user experience. How about this in regards to what it says for trade tech? Trade as investable asset class. Again, it's all tied in together with XDC. So that's good stuff. Now we're going to get into some of the other main things that's worth pointing out because I don't know if you realize that Finastra's Trade AI app goes live on Finastra's Fusion Fabric Cloud. I'll just pull that up for just a brief moment. I'm not going to get super into it. I don't want to make it like as long as the Jasmine segment. But, you know, this again originally started happening all the way back a few years ago, right? So it's not like it's not something that, you know, people aren't aware of. Okay. So I just thought I'd show you guys this. Yeah, there. I meant to share that tab. So this has been around for a while. And then on top of that, let me show this tab instead. Get off this one. Talks about some of this stuff, right? So this was reported on July 1st of 2023. And this is quite the breakdown. This is not XDC network in phase 1. Obviously, we're always going to reference R3 because, you know, the R3 core to XDC bridge is huge. Okay. Inigio, Cargo X in phase 2. Think about what's mentioned here. You know, when you think about literally trade, do you not think of Cargo? Right? That's a great name, in my opinion. Trade Tech, Trada, Trade Trust, Comgo, Trade Shift, and Supplier Plus in phase 3. Lots of different phases. You know, so many people want to, not necessarily us, but I mean, we've seen some of the FUD, right? There's always FUD in every project, unfortunately. People complain about, oh, XDC doesn't have a lot of price action going on. Yeah, but you want to know something? Just because you don't see a lot from them, understand that what they have been building in the background. Again, I don't want to accumulate any of these digital assets when things have, you know, been fully built and the utilities already being used all over the trade industry. Let's give this a look, like it says. I mean, look at this. We will talk about phase 1 for a brief moment, right? I mean, there's some key players here. I'm going to blow this up even a little bit more. Look at this. Is this not impressive? I mean, phase 1, you have, for instance, Flexport. You have, I'm just shouting out the ones that kind of look familiar to me at least. Zenita. You have obviously XDC shown on here, right? Phase 2. There's a lot in regards to phase 2. I mean, it's just like, oh my gosh. I mean, look at all these industries. Like, it speaks for itself. Cargo 1, Cargo X, Go Freight, right? Who knows? Maybe Mr. Elon Musk will be, you know, branch out into some of this stuff that you see here, right? Crazy stuff, right? All right. Phase 3. Look at this. Accelerated payments, AP, Alma, Aston. I'm just going with some of them. Trade Shift. The TFG, the Trade Finance Global. Trade Tech. D'Amica. I don't know. Very impressive. Now, on the top right, it's super hard to see it. But it mentions, that's all in a different language. I thought that was mentioning something cool. But anyway, thought I'd show you guys that. I mean, that is just, you know, when they talk about the trade industry being massive, is that not massive? You know, think about like some blockchain projects that talk about building out an ecosystem. This is why you see, you know, and I'll give him a shout out, even though he won't even give me the right time of day. It's okay. Richard Common Sense Crypto. He always talks about how huge the trade industry is. Here's the perfect representation. Okay. All the different phases. All right. Let's jump back to this for a brief moment. And that is this right here. Hold on a second. Let's see. I love this part. I'm going to show you guys this real quick. This guy says, my friend, I don't see XDC network on this chart, but I know that XDC is in the process. And any reason why XDC is not on the map? It's called, you just need to look harder. All right. I'll just show you guys a little bit more of what I'm talking about. It's going to be hard for you guys to see, but it's bottom left, phase 1, right next to Zenita. And XDC is right there. Okay. All right. I'm going to jump back to what we have. And let's get into this. Hold on just a second. Here we go. So a little bit more in regards to XDC. Check this out as well. future-proofing trade transactions from ClearEye.ai, not Clearpool, ClearEye, plus JP Morgan. Ooh, that sounds bullish in itself, right? ClearAI, which they have their own page at clearai.com, or ClearEye.ai, is a member of the DNI initiative, which focuses on Inigio's Trace original technology that uses XDC. Trace originally is fully integrated with Fusion Trade Innovation. They even have like kind of a brief trailer before we get into that. I'm going to show you some key things. Look what's highlighted here. I don't need to blow it up anymore. All right. Here's Inigio, Finastra, all highlighted. XDC network, ClearEye AI, reduces costs and enhanced fraud protection. Originally fully integrated with Fusion, trade innovation, reducing the costs associated with white paper-based transaction, reduces fraud, you name it, right? All sorts of good stuff. A little bit more in regards to all of this, a little bit from trade or ClearEye. Enable efficiency in trade finance processing by automating document scrutiny, rules, validation, and compliance checks. I mean, why not point out some of this stuff? Now, check out this preview trailer, whatever you want to call it. This is cool stuff. Smash that like for some XDC. Come on, who doesn't want to mention some of this stuff? Even if we're not fans of JP Morgan, but we are fans of understanding that this is a big player, and to tie it all into XDC is big. We're going to go ahead and play this. Please smash the like. Here we go.
How do you future-proof trade finance operations? At JP Morgan, we believe the answer is to embrace the changing ways of the industry. And it all begins with redefining the way trade finance operations are run. Today's back-office operations, whether global or regional, face global challenges. New regulatory requirements, rising costs, aging technology, a shrinking pool of the specialized workers needed to keep operations running smoothly. It's all adding up and slowing businesses down. The time for change is now. After assessing multiple options that included rigorous vendor analyses, JP Morgan is excited to announce our new strategic alliance with ClearEye, a move that's changing trade finance forever. ClearEye's automated ClearTrade platform replaces many of the manual steps of traditional processes. By eliminating the need for employees to pore over the millions of physical documents that litter today's trade finance world, it streamlines the time and effort required for each and every transaction. ClearTrade's digital platform uses proprietary technology to scan documents for you, and it seamlessly integrates with sanction screening systems to enable a true end-to-end review of all trade finance documents. Powered by their sophisticated rules engine, which reduces the time and operational costs associated with document examination and adherence to industry rules and standard banking practices. Plus, it automatically flags potential money laundering, price manipulation, sanctions evasion, and more, helping us stay in the black while reducing false positives and red flags. We should know, JP Morgan brought in ClearTrade, and they're helping us run faster and more efficiently. In addition to the significant cost savings, ClearTrade can help alleviate risk, increase transaction volume, open new markets, and so much more. Put it all together, and it's easy to see why we formed a global strategic alliance that's changing the way back-office operations will run today and in the future. It's everything you need to take advantage of the changing ways of the industry, but you need to start now before it's too late. Welcome to the future of digital trade. To find out more about our experience using ClearTrade, visit jpmorgan.com/trade or contact your JP Morgan representative.
That was really impressive. And on top of this, I'm going to show you guys the slides I was talking about. I'm going to share it again. Here we go. Oh, these are the slides we already showed you guys. Sorry about that. Still, this slide right here, just in case you just tuned in and you missed it. I mean, boom, there it is. What's there not to like, especially seeing XDC being part of the mix? Okay, so there's obviously a lot more to this, and I think I'm going to go to this part right here. just give you a little bit more of an idea about Clear Eye, right? With Clear Trade. So in regards to Clear Trade, like this fact sheet, if you will, and we'll blow this up a little bit more too. All right. It states what you see right here. An automated approach to reducing risk in trade finance operations, simplifying sanctions screening. This collaboration in regards to Clear AI with Finastra, Clear Trade uses NLP and advanced AI to seamlessly integrate existing systems, delivering high-speed end-to-end processing in trade finance transactions. This quote from, was it global head of trade finance? Clear Trade is intuitive, efficient, and is the best in the market. I mean, these are pretty bold statements. They have compared all their competition, and Clear Trade is superior to all. The team is outstanding. They understand the trade finance business and have a deep technology know-how. Their turnaround time is very impressive, and the KPIs are way superior to the products we have been using for many years. I'm not going to read all of this, but it states that financial institutions face challenges in screening trade documents. They do, due to the complexity involved in manually extracting relevant information from unstructured paperwork. This is a perfect example of why you see the breakdowns of, in supply chain, logistics, all that stuff, right? We know that if we're talking about the medical industry, how it's very bureaucratic and so on, and how, for instance, like when I was driving down the road, I listened to this lady that was involved in, the medical industry for over 20 years, talking about like, we need to get things put on blockchain. It would help us like scale things up dramatically. Things would get done a lot more efficiently. Typically speaking, like for everything that we want to do, it would take 18 months to accomplish that. Where if everything was put on blockchain, we're looking at like having everything done roughly within like 1 to 2 months. That is massive. Here's another example. What about in regards to the trade sector? Like it says, there are also high courier costs associated with ferrying physical documents between banks and corporates. There is, right? So I'm going to get more into this, and I'm going to show you this other part of what we have. It gives you like this workflow. I'm not going to get into necessarily the workflow, right? Because it's kind of like a little bit more of the nerdy stuff. There's nothing wrong with that, but there's obviously other things to get into. Okay. So I thought I would conclude that in regards to the XDC segment. And I do thank you guys for tuning into it. It's nice to see some updates on what XDC is doing in the background with some of these other key players. Pretty impressive stuff, in my opinion, especially with this one with Clear Eye. And we'll definitely look more into that in the future. Possibly take a deep dive into clearai.ai. We'll see. All right, I'm going to get back into the comments. Turn some banners back on, all that good stuff. Smash the like. Happy 4th of July to you guys who are here. And be honest, I don't even know if a lot of people are paying attention to this stuff. I mean, it's 4th of July. I don't hold it against you. All right, so here we go. And here we go. All right. Someone Fuss says ICP and stacks as well. Yeah, I'm going to do a follow-up on ICP. Maybe I'll do one about stacks. Just got to get a little bit more people requesting that in regards to stacks, but I'm sure it's a good project. I mean, why would Selmo Flood be invested in a bad project, right, Selmo? Boom. All right. Welcome to Stargazer, Blackwood. If I missed anybody, maybe River, somebody like that, sorry about that, but welcome to you guys. Of course, always glad to have Wayneside in the house. Did you have a good surf on 4th of July? Were you like the Benny the Jet Rodriguez of surfers? What do I mean by that? Were you able to go out at nighttime? Actually, what am I talking about? It's still daylight in California for at least another hour. Well, maybe you haven't got to do it yet, but maybe you go out to surf at nighttime, and then with the fireworks, it lights up the sky. You know, kind of like Benny the Jet Rodriguez was talking about in Sandlot, right? That one time out of the year where you get to, you know, do something at nighttime because you got the lights to go with it. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. All right. I'm glad to have you here, Stargazer. Thank you. Thank you. Boom. Right back at you. Stargazer, get your ish together. You're trying to be like, what's his face? Oh, shoot. Kind of drawing a blank right now. I can't believe it. We referenced this guy so many times. All right. Milady or Pepe? Yes, yes. All right. I want to read this. You still live by that rule. Street lights come on and I get to the house because you're a cat. Yeah, absolutely. That's what happens when you are a cat. I guess. I don't know. All right. Let's go further down into the comments. See if you guys got any specific questions or comments. Talking about the XX coin. I've heard about where do you get it. All right, Mr. Lambo's Crypto Talk. Nah, I just came back into the chat and just read your last comment. Thought you were talking about someone else. LOL, I should have read your previous comment. LOL, oops. I don't know what happened there, but that's okay. You like hearing the thud? Huh. All right. You've seen YouTubers talk about XRP's connection to FedNow, Federal Reserve, through Volante. Is this legit? Will this impact XRP's price positively? I gotta look more into that. I have seen a few things posted, but I haven't had a chance to take that deep dive. There's so many deep dives to do and so on. And you know, when you're a content creator, you're held to be more, you know, you're more, I guess you could say, held more accountable on some of these things. Yeah, I don't know. All right. Lambo's Ripple's partnership with Volante has completed testing for FedNow. Of course, Somo FUD. See, he's in the know. That's good stuff. You know me, I'm not going to BS you guys. If I don't know, I don't know. All right, Blackwood. I don't believe Ripple wants to help the banks. I think they want to destroy them from the inside out. As Web3 takes over the world, really hope I'm onto something. You may very well be. Like, it's their secret agenda to destroy this constant thing of, like, I guess the top 1%. I don't know. You never know. Tales from the Crypto. Oh, that's an interesting name. Well, welcome. So hold on. So are we all in on Jasmine? Well, I'm not all in on anything. You know, I'm diversified, but I mean, I do have a very significant amount of my portfolio into Jasmine. That's a blatant thing. It's probably one of my top 5 holdings currently speaking. All right, but welcome, Tales from the Crypto. You know, when that guy from, you know, the Crypt Keeper used to come on HBO back when I was a kid, I was just like, man, that was one creepy looking thing, man. That was a good show though, Tales from the Crypt. All right, you guys ever see the spin the parody Tales from the Hood? That was funny too. All right, I'll take a guess. Say Tom. I don't know where you're going with that. All right, I got close to 40,000 Jasmine. Definitely work on getting more. That's good. That's good. If XRP moons, WTF we need Hulk for? That's a great point. I mean, I don't know. But I'm sure some people will pay for it. It's just like when all this stuff moons, what the heck do we need CTN for, right? I don't know. Maybe it's just a place to hang out with. You know, it's like we talk about, we joke around about Larry and his shows. Maybe that's just all it ends up being. I don't know. I'm just kidding. All right. Stream at max. I don't know what that is. Stream what? Meth says, screw the fireworks and started firing rounds. All right. Let me read a couple more. Damn, we ain't like a rack. You ate like a rack of, hold on. Set around, popped off like 2 hours straight. Pretty big ones. Oh, okay. 100 round drum in 60 seconds. That's cool. And then I broke out and showed Squidward the Sub 2000. Oh, you have an S2000? Nice. I used to play Battlefield 2, right? BF2. And I used to shoot the S2000 a lot, which is what you basically have. All right, Texas Instruments. All right, let's go further down. Thank you. Appreciate you guys for saying that. Oh yeah, I think the same thing. Take me out to eat. Well, I appreciate that, you guys. This will all happen at some point. Just not yet. All right, bro, we got you, and we appreciate you for keeping all of us occupied and growing as a group. And all the friends we made here is because of you, bro. That means a lot, Mike. I appreciate that. I know that, I don't know, man. My thing is like for over 21 years, I guess you could say I'm just good at when it comes to like community stuff, like my gaming group. I mean, like my gaming group is not thriving like it used to, as the saying goes, if you put a lot of time and energy in anything, it's going to do well. In recent years, I kind of took like a step back, right? Don't focus on that as much. I focus on this stuff, but when I am focused on certain things, I do well at. But that means a lot, Mike. Thank you very much. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, you guys should do that, man. Have lunch, do something. All right, that'd be cool. If you do that though, somebody's got to get a recording of Mike Cornwell saying "Boomer F it sooner." There you go. All right, I'll read a couple more comments. We'll kick into what we have. I'll read this from Cool Cat though. Oh, Crypto God's here. Welcome back, Crypto God. Glad to have you here, man. Happy 4th of July to you. Oh yeah, about the whole thing with KuCoin. Yeah, it does suck. M80 will blow off your finger. Yeah, I know. I was just like, what are you doing? You're crazy. If you get a short fuse, and she had one that was a short fuse and came like 2 inches away from doing damage. I mean, like I'll unravel the Thunder Bomb firecrackers, right? And then just take the punk, light it, throw it, blows up, right? But I've had, of course, those things blow up in my hand, and it stings like hell. It takes off part of your flesh, right? Part of it. And M80, like you pointed out, Mr. OG Crypto, Mr. Gangster, I want to keep my thumbs, Absolutely. KuCoin betrayed. Yeah, they betrayed me too. It's bad. It seems like it. But we get a Ripple victory and things turn the other way, and maybe then they're like, oh, everything's open up now. I don't know. I mean, think about it. Who knows? What is this? I know nothing of your taste. Oh boy. Why do we keep mentioning Saitama here? Where did that come from? Man, what up, Cat? Just want to let you know I left you about 15 pieces of burnt bacon from last night. I went and bought some bacon at the grocery store last night. Because I'm probably gonna make it tomorrow. I make bomb egg salad. I don't know if you guys are fans of egg salad. I make the bomb egg salad. Like it's amazing. If you guys like deviled eggs, like my egg salad's kind of like that, but it's an egg salad. You know what I mean? It's just so good. It's like food crack or whatever. It's just amazing. And then on top of that, I take a couple pieces of, Applewood smoked bacon, thick cut, and then put it over the egg salad. And it's just, some paprika pepper. Oh, it's just so good. I'm making myself hungry. Anyway. All right. I thought I'd let you know, leave you food. You still left outside and became Satoshi's cat. What the heck? That's some effed up stuff, Cool Cat. Just leave and don't say bye. Josh Cornwell, the man, has been devastated. His pet cat left. Now it's Satoshi's little. Oh, wow. What the heck, man? You're getting rid of your cat, your neighborhood cat. That's crazy. You made a cat leave. Oh, I guess he came back. Anyway. All right, Patrick Collier, happy 4th of July. Glad to have you here. Appreciate that. Yes, all give. Yeah, how about this, guys? Let's all give Tales from the Crypto a warm welcome. I forgot to mention that. Very, very true. Our mission is that we hope that you become a regular attendee and ask any questions or comments you have and so on. But, shout out to you. Thank you for watching. And to anybody who may be listening on this 4th of July, whether you're from the United States or some other country, I want to give you a warm welcome as well. There's all sorts of weird references. I just want to state here at CTN. We do try to, give you the crypto news, education updates, a little bit of the entertainment and so on. So there are certain terms that are basically outlined here at CTN. You're going to hear a few things that you may be comfortable with. Maybe you're not comfortable with this. All right. So you got to understand this. There's this guy. His name is Tim Shea. Okay. And there's this guy. His name is Brian Dowie. Now, if you've ever seen the movie Step Brothers, understand this. These guys are the crypto version of those two characters of that movie. You are going to see these two guys constantly mention these types of names and terms. Number 1, Caroline. Number 2, Vaseline. And with that also said, you got to keep in mind that this guy, Brian Dowie, is going to reference a key term that you may or may not be comfortable with. It is basically mudbutt. Now, mudbutt is referred to as something that was absolutely insane that happened to a member of ours who won't be coming back until 2024. His name is Rain. Now, Rain volunteers some really crazy stuff in regards to all the avocado juice that he drank mixed with milk and other types of things to quote unquote flush him out. Yes, he actually used some kind of oil. I don't know if it was canola oil. I don't know what kind of oil it was, but he mixed it all in with this stuff. And as a result, it gave him, quote unquote, mud butt. So don't let that deter you away from our show. These are terms from the DGN crowd that we throw out there all the time. So I'm just giving you a heads up. At least once or twice a week, you will hear the term mud butt, and you will definitely hear something about Caroline, as in Caroline Ellison, literally every show, as well as Vaseline. Welcome to Crypto Talk Now and some of the DGen Talk Now, I guess. All right, let's get back into what we have here. I would pretty much agree with you on that, like 99%. Yes. We're going to use that as a bookmark. Going to kick it back to the other screen, so we were at. And let's get into the rest of this outline. So, was glad to talk about some of the stuff from XDC. We are now going to jump into the Hedera HBAR segment. Smash that like if you are an HBARian, right? HBARian, Barian, where you want to call it. Okay? So, what's your favorite breakfast, right? Bacon, eggs, and Hedera hash browns, right? All right. So here we go. This comes from Coinman, the HBARian. Why be a librarian when you could be HBARian, right? Right. So on this particular one, this is also a thread, an outline, but it ain't going to be super long. Atman's real-time carbon impact analytics tool. We're always talking about carbon credits, carbon offsets. This is a new thing, whether you agree with it or not. This tool provides brands with data-driven insights regarding the carbon footprint of their products. A powerful new tool that captures data from every stage of a product's journey, from raw material to customer. Here at CTN, get used to us talking about data-driven projects, whether it's Hedera, whether it is Jasmine, whether it's Casper, whether it's sometimes even DAG, right? Constellation DAG, Energy Web Token. We don't cover those all the time, but they do get honorable mentions. IOTA, right? Absolutely. So as we pull this up, we're going to show you guys just a little bit about this. And in the process of doing so, it comes over to this, which is the cosmetic industry reported a few days ago, refreshing the approach and waste and overproduction. Now, you may be wondering, like, why mention any of this stuff to begin with? Well, you got to keep in mind that, it's a big industry. Is it not? April Cornwell will tell you that the cosmetic industry is a big industry. Will she not? I'm sure Brittany, all you female ladies, we love you. All right. It's a big industry. We don't need to preach to the choir. It's a big industry. All right, jumping back to this. Here's part of this thread. And it's Hedera, for crying out loud. So the Atma.io real-time waste elimination tool uses AI and machine learning to analyze and alert anomalies and inefficiencies across the supply chain. You know, we talk about the breakdowns of the supply chain. You know, believe it or not, the this industry, right? The cosmetics industry probably suffers breakdowns in the supply chain just as much as, you know, the food industry and so on, right? Agricultural industry, you name it. It doesn't just apply to one. So it says it provides customers with access to source of single truth, where a product's origins and entire journey can be chronicled and made available to brands, retailers, and consumers, and has the ability to manage emissions and highlight their sustainability. Atma already records billions of items to Hedera's mainnet via the Hedera Consensus service. Listen to this, guys. Every API can, or I should say, call, can be paid for in HBAR. You know, this is why we highlight some of these things. We want to see, I don't care what cryptocurrency project it is, do we not want to see the utility being used over and over and over? Yes, we do. We understand that when it comes to the actual utility being used over and over and over, that's where we should see some significant price action if that keeps happening, and especially if we get mass adoption. Things will start to kick in. You want to talk about price shock? What is the definition of some of the price shock, right? Or supply, I should say price shock. Supply shock will, you know, lead to a price shock. If you have, you know, a lot of this already released into the supply, and then it's just constantly being used, and we're seeing, you know, come on, guys, Hedera, what is it? It broke some records, you know, over 1 billion transactions one time in a single month. Again, get that mass adoption based off of the supply. Have examples like this. This is just one example, right? In one particular industry. There's many other industries, but the point is, every API call pay for in HBAR. That is the whole point of holding some of these tokens, in my opinion, right? We understand all this stuff that is tied into, but I love seeing the examples of utility, the actual token utility being used. This guy's looking forward to how Atma might further leverage Hedera in the coming months. Real world adoption, like I was talking of, DLT at scale has begun. And yeah, it's on Hedera, on HBAR. There's more about the metrics, all good stuff, all worth pointing out. All right. A little bit more on what we have here. Let's jump to this next one. This is big stuff too in regards to Hedera. It says anyone who thinks DLT as in distributed ledger technology and crypto is only good for speculation should take some time to dig deeper. Hedera is a value and adds technology across many industries, including healthcare. Healthcare is a fantastic example. Remember, I was talking about on a different segment, I think, what was it, XDC or something like that, or even Jasmine, some of the examples of healthcare, right? That is an industry, very bureaucratic, but if you could put it all on blockchain, it's going to help them not only scale, get things done a lot more quicker, efficiently, less time sensitive. You know, who wants to spend all day long at a darn doctor's office? Because instead of you just seeing the doctor like you need to, you have to first wait to fill out all this darn paperwork, and it just takes forever. That is an industry that needs to obviously embrace blockchain, distributed ledger technology. There's a full interview in regards to this. We're not going to get into all this, but we're going to show you some of the key highlights, and it's going to feature this lady. Her name is Maria Palombini. She's from Health Ready. She's the chief patient enabler of Health Ready. Let's listen to what she has to share in regards to, for instance, healthcare tied into Hedera. Pretty big stuff. Here we go. Smash that like. Thanks for being here. Happy 4th of July to you guys.
Maria, to start, can you give us a quick overview of what Health Ready is and why you started it?
Sure. So Health Ready is a platform that really serves patients who suffer from rare diseases or rare forms of conditions, i.e. like a rare cancer. And the concept of the platform is first to empower patients in a way that they can use their data to help themselves be found and get involved in clinical research. In a lot of cases with patients of rare diseases and rare conditions, they're often the most hardest to find, and they're the ones least likely to know of trials available to help their condition. And sometimes trials is their last resort. Either could be a terminal cancer or just for a better quality of life when you have a chronic rare disease condition. So conceptually, the idea is me as a patient, I use my data to help myself be found. And that helps clinical researchers when they're looking for patients in these rare categories. It's actually like an accelerator for them because now they've got validated, qualified data from participants who are willing and interested in getting involved in the clinical trial. So it's sort of, let's say, quote unquote, a nice match.
Maria, I can't think of a better use of DLT. You're doing a fantastic job. Thank you so much for stopping by and using Hedera to enhance your business and improve medical care in general.
Absolutely. I think Hedera is a great tool for us, and it's really helping us achieve our mission. So we're delighted to be using it.
Delighted to be using it. Now you got to keep in mind, right? You know, Health Ready is not some big, huge name. But again, the word of mouth will happen. More and more people will be in tune about, hey, there's other solutions out there, and it's done through Web3, blockchain, DLT. What is this all about? And how about this? Hedera, like we mentioned, is not a blockchain. They are its own individual consensus, like a Gaussic protocol, if you will, and so on. A different type of consensus algorithm. Very, very impressive technology, to say the least. Now, there's more that we have in regards to HBAR. We're going to jump into this in just a brief bit, but I want to show you guys just a tad bit more because it's good stuff. All right, so give me a second. I'm going to pull this up. And it's just a little bit more in regards to Health Ready. This video is about a minute as well. It's not that we're doing a deep dive into this, but there's a lot of things going on in Hedera with Hedera right now as we speak. Here's another perfect example. In this video, you're going to see how Health Ready, with this showcase, like it says, an app built in collaboration with Get Health Ready on Hedera. Health Ready is enabling patient-driven research and transforming clinical trials. New app version is now available to download. You can even test it out for yourself if you want to nerd it out. You know, most people are not going to do this. You get on the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. We're going to play this as well. 1 minute, smash the like, and then we'll get into the next part of what we have. Here we go.
Welcome to a new era of healthcare. Health Ready goes beyond clinical trial matching. We're revolutionizing patient-driven trials tailored to your unique genetic and therapeutic profile, all built on the secure foundation of Hedera Hashgraph. With Health Ready, you have the power to shape the future of precision clinical trials. Your health data matters. With your permission and responsible data governance, we leverage your individuality to drive innovative discoveries. By joining patient-driven trials, you contribute to groundbreaking advancements and personalized treatments. Collaborate with researchers and medical experts, unlocking the potential of collective knowledge. Together, we uncover the secrets of your health. Health Ready, where precision meets possibility. Download now and be part of patient-driven healthcare, empowering you to shape the future of healthcare.
All right. Very impressive stuff, all right? Always glad to share some of these things with you guys, especially when it comes to Hedera. Now, with that said, I'm going to show you just a tad bit more of what we have. And that actually concludes what we have for Hedera. The next segment will be LCX, and then we have some Algorand. And then we'll talk a little bit about, I guess you could say, you know, the Bitcoin ETF and so on, just for a brief bit and rounding things off. Let me exit out a few of these tabs. Things are starting to go bat-ish crazy here in Phoenix because, you know, it kind of gets dark around 8. So now it's obviously dark. People are starting to light things off, which is all right. But yeah, I'm gonna get back into the comments. Appreciate you guys being here. Hopefully, you guys had a great 4th of July. Lots of good food, good fellowship. Now, that's my thing. Like, I don't know. I miss the good fellowship, to be honest. I think I would value that more than food at this point, but that's okay. All right. Let's see here. Let me get into the comments. Yeah. I think, honestly, in the future, I'm going to move. I'm going to go back home. I'm finally going to go home at some point. When everything is said and done, I'm going to go home. All right. Cool Cat Crypto, he says he'd blown a black cat fireworks off his hand on purpose. It hurts. Jeez. Blackwood says he makes pork belly. That sounds good. Pork belly, egg salad, potato salad. You know my favorite type of pork belly is? I don't know if you guys ever had it, but for my graduation or for my bachelor's, not my master's, but for my bachelor's, my mom and my aunt, they made this thing's called Letson or Luchon. Some people pronounce that a different way. It's like a Filipino dish, okay? And you take like a young pig, like a pig, and you they roast it on a skewer, like a giant skewer. You may not like that, but it's amazing. And you have basically fresh bacon and it's crispy. And then you also do the pork belly. And from the pork belly, it's just perfectly crispy. I never had fresh pork like that before. And it's just out of this world. I'll tell you guys this much, right? So if we ever, I should say when, how about this? When we all get together and do like a conference or CTN conference or something like get together, you guys are all invited. I will order that. All right. I want you guys, if you never experienced that, it's so amazing. Okay. I mean, and especially right when it's just been recently cooked. And then you take like a good, I forgot what kind of knife we use, and you just cut that belly. Of course, everything's gutted out. I don't want people to be grossed out, right? All that stuff is already gutted out. You cut that pork belly, and then right after it's just been like perfectly cooked. Oh my God, that is out of this world pork belly, and it's perfectly crispy. And I want to state this, right? If anybody has experienced this later on, people are like, well, I'll just, heat up in the microwave. Not when it comes to crispy, that pork skin, right? That's right off from the belly, because then it makes it too chewy. And it's like, the only way you can recreate the crispiness is to put it back on like a griddle. You put it in the microwave, it makes it all, it's like a steaming effect, makes it all chewy. But oh my gosh, Letson or whatever they call it, so good. It's the best. All right, let's see what you guys have in the comments. I guess Brittany doesn't want to tell me what crypto she likes. I asked her like 50 times. You did? I know, huh? It's top secret because I'm a noob. What the heck? I thought you're not a noob, Brittany. You watch a lot of the show, so I'm sure you know what to do by now. Brittany says, I think you should put tracker on him, Elon. I never seen Brittany in the chat this active. This is something else. Any flea collar while you're at it. He has fleas. Laughing. That's pretty cool stuff. No. The cool cat has no fleas. My mistake. He has worms. Oh my gosh. That's horrible. I believe it. I throw bacon and steak out on the porch and his friends eat it up. But Cool Cat is gone. Over cuddled up with Satoshi. Satoshi will be pissed when he gets his ringworms. Ugh. Damn, Ordy, you going back up so good. That's interesting. All right. Ghost, welcome. He says, let's go Jasmine fireworks in Japan. Ichiban. Ichiban Jasmine. Rice Crop Consortium. Happy 4th of July to each and every one of you. You have bring great honor to us at Crypto Talk Now. When Larry comes back, he will create great dishonor by having a eggplant in his thumbnail and talking about DJ Talk Now. Anything and everything. Oy. All right. Sorry, I'll stop doing that voice. All right. The Ghost, I think Jasmine will behave like VeChain in price. Oh, no, that's not good. Ghost says, remember, Max, I'm getting you that RB t-shirt. You mentioned that last night too. I watched part of the replay. You keep mentioning this RB t-shirt. What is this? What is this saying about you in this RB t-shirt? I gotta ask, like, what is this? I love my Filipino wife, brother. Okay, you have a Filipino wife. That's great. I mean, I wouldn't mind having a Filipino wife someday, maybe. I don't know. She taught me a little lesson in Tagalog earlier in the morning. She make chicken adobo. I know how to make chicken adobo, but guess what? I probably don't make it like your wife. Make it like how my aunt taught me how to do it. I like it a lot better this way. Okay, it's just, for one, it looks more appetizing. Don't get me wrong. I've had the one with, you know, Coca-Cola, and it's a little bit more darker. You know what I mean? She does it with 7-Up, and I prefer it with the chicken breast and 7-Up. A lot of Filipinos obviously do it with the chicken legs. I like with the chicken breast, and then I do it with the rice. I honestly, right, I've had like real Filipinas from the Philippines. They prefer it like the old traditional way with the Coca-Cola and the chicken legs and all that, right? But for my American friends who are kind of like, don't want to just branch out into other cultures, they are more accepting of doing, you know, they like it my way better than the other way. I'll just throw that out there. That's okay. All right. So what's this about Arby's? Oh yeah, we were saw it. All right. So let's conclude that. We're at 2 hours and 16 minutes. So we talked about some of this stuff. All right, let's jump into LCX. Sorry, I had to check my phone real quick. All right, let's have you guys smash that like. We still have some more coverage. 42 likes. Smash that like for some LCX, the Liechtenstein exchange. If you happen to love the Liechtenstein exchange, we are all voting for the LCX to go to $9.99. All right. With that said, let's go ahead and jump into this. Yes, the fireworks are going off like crazy. All right, here we go. And let's pause this and share some of this with you guys. All right. So LCX, been a while since we talked about LCX, has it not? Well, this comes straight from the Liechtenstein exchange. What is the environmental impact of timings? Now you're like, oh no, I talk about timings again. Well, there's some educational things, and it's been a recent. Monty Metzger posted this yesterday. I think it's worth looking into. So he says some things here, right? We know he's a CEO and founder of LCS. He asked Stephen Gatna, head of Timons, to shed light on this. Let's shed some light. All right. I'm going to go ahead and play this, and then we'll jump into a little bit more, including a new token sale on the Liechtenstein exchange that you may want to pay attention to. Yes, there's other tokens, but this one you might want to look a little bit more into. Smash that like. Here we go.
Kajal, can you elaborate on the environmental impacts of diamonds compared to traditional diamond mining and traditional practices? How do NFTs contribute to sustainability in the diamond industry? Stephen, what's your thoughts on this?
But again, I think first of all, we are sourcing natural diamonds. So yes, they are mines, but at the same time, there's only one one journey they are doing. From our purchase to the vault is only one journey, and they will stay there for a long time. So they won't need, those diamonds won't need to travel to another owner or to be set into a jewelry piece, because they are really aimed to be an investment diamond that will stay in that vault. And it's only the ownership certificate and the GIE certificate that will be sent from one user to the other. So yes, we are, I would say, more environmental than traditional diamond business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I would summarize what are the sustainability impacts or the environmental impacts of the Timons project. I think we're still looking at the diamonds itself. Where does it come from? Tracing it back and everything. So that's very similar to like buying any diamond. But the difference comes in all the future trades, because as Steven said, we put it in the vault. Once it's there, it can be traded all over the world without moving the physical goods. So all the logistical costs are gone. And also it's safe for the purchaser, because you don't have to worry about the custody of it. It's insured, put in the vault, pretty good.
All right, we're going to show you guys now something more in regards to LCX. Glad to get that breakdown about it, right? You know, especially when it comes to, you know, LCX and so on. I mean, it's one thing to see it on a description on a particular page, but to actually see a visual breakdown is pretty nice. So let me jump into a little bit more about this. So this also comes from the actual official LCX Twitter, and it is in regards to what you see here. So here it is, and it's referred to as the Gauss ecosystem, and it's basically built on the Gauss 1.0 blockchain. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. I don't know. It states, which is an EVM compatible permission blockchain. Lots of talk about EVM compatible, right? ZK EVM, Polygon, you understand that, like, you know, it's a big thing. It is a big thing, right? In regards to all sorts of different blockchain projects and so on, right? So it's a permission blockchain. The Gauss ecosystem will use open source building blocks for Gauss 1.0 and continue to adopt and create more in the future. Let's discuss what Gauss Gang is. It's, you know, the Gang token. The sale is live on the Liechtenstein exchange. So you may be wondering, like, you know, can you explain a little bit more about this? Absolutely, I can. And here it basically is. Okay, so the Gauss Gang ecosystem, and by the way, here's their Twitter, all right? It says a safe ecosystem for brands to build and strengthen their community authentically through digital rewards. You may hear some fireworks in the background. You know, it's 4th of July. It offers digital rewards and loyalty programs with cost-effective benefits to unite fragmented audiences into a vibrant community. I mean, who doesn't want a, you know, community when it comes to your crypto assets? With the Gauss ecosystem, brands can immerse themselves in a world of trust and security. Again, guys, this was posted yesterday, so it's a brand new token on the LCX exchange. The curated layer 1 blockchain is fraud-free, permission, and subject to regular security audits. I mean, all this stuff is good stuff. The Gauss blockchain scales effortlessly. That's great. With a network designed to evolve with the brand's evolving needs. The blockchain can effortlessly handle millions of transactions per second. Now, this right here is pretty bold of a statement, is it not? Effortlessly handle millions of transactions per second? That's incredible. That's just unbelievable. All right, the Gauss mission is to maintain a secure and thriving ecosystem. This can be seamlessly achieved by creating their own blockchain rather than launching as a layer 2 on an existing chain. I mean, I get it, guys. There's lots of other tokens that are listed on the Liechtenstein exchange, right? But this one, I think, is definitely worth pointing out, and I'm glad that they're drawing our attention to this. So as we get further into it, it says the curated layer 1 blockchain enables brands to carve their own unique narrative with the option of personalized tokens that echo the brand's, you know, voice. This makes sense for why it's on the Liechtenstein exchange, LCX, because we know that with LCX, you know, you have many different projects, you know, that are tokenizing themselves. When we talk about physical and digital assets being tokenized, LCX is the perfect platform to do just that. Their official token is called Gang. Like some of you guys joke around on our live show, you know, you're like gang, right? Which functions as a digital currency within the Gauss ecosystem and offers a variety of use cases that will assist users in activities related to the Gauss ecosystem. The Gang token sale is live on LCX. And of course, you could go to this link to participate in the token sale. I'm going to bring it guys to this site for a brief moment. And as we go there, you're going to see this. And of course, you know, you got to make sure that you have an account there and so on. And then from there, you can view all this stuff, right? It doesn't take too long. I'll show you this right here. See? So if you're interested, take a look into it. I'm going to jump back to what we have. And here it is. And I like this because, I mean, some of you guys are asking these basic questions, right? All right, so everybody, for the most part, is going to ask this question, and that is, what is the difference between them and other blockchains out there? Very, very good question. I mean, why even, you know, do a video about this, Max, right? I would agree, right? Here's the difference, the big difference between them and the rest, all right? Here we go.
The big difference between Gauss and all the other blockchains is that every token project coming into the ecosystem will be going through a vetting process. In this way, we can drastically reduce the amount of scams that are happening within the crypto while creating a safer environment for brands, creators, and projects to interact with their audience. All future dApps, projects, and partners coming into Gauss will be able to have their own corner of Gauss in here. The big difference between Gauss and all the other blockchains is that every token...
All right, so they're called Gauss. I like calling it Gauss, like the Gauss, you know? See, Liechtenstein exchange. Anyway, Gauss. All right, I'll try to remember that. So with that also said, there's a tad bit more. I know you're like, what the heck? But, you know, this is good stuff. So we have, for instance, Mr. Monty Metzger, and he is here. Let me just double check my settings. I'm good. He is here. And he's also with this guy, Gary Paul Jr., who is the CEO and co-founder over at Gauss. So be part of Gauss Gang ecosystem by participating, like we mentioned, in that gang token sale, which, of course, we showed you the link to that earlier. You just go on lcx.com and look at it for yourself, right? This is 2 minutes and 32 seconds. Let's hear about this perspective from the two, okay? Here we go.
And now when I look at your platform, it's gaussgang.com. Just get it in the stream as well. And now let's have a look at and describe, I think you talked about where you started a little bit, but give us a more insights about the vision. So when we now look at Gauss Gang, what can we expect? What's the overall vision? Where will you stand in the coming years?
Yeah, I talk a lot about where we'll be in 5 and 10 and 20 years, because that's really what we're building toward. We're, you know, skating to where the puck will be, not where it is right now. The future I see is one where we have a large myriad of virtual interconnected microeconomies, right? That'll be a lot of games, virtual environments, but also brands and altering the way that they engage with their consumers and audiences. If you imagine something like the Pepsi coin in 5-10 years existing on a blockchain, how that could change their marketing, you know, their relationships with other platforms. That's part of it. We also have some, in my opinion, forward-thinking views on the future of metaverses. And I know that topic, that, you know, it sounds very buzzy at this point, but I've been dreaming about metaverses my entire life, you know, since the 80s and 90s. Those cyberpunk worlds and everything when I was playing games and role-playing games, especially Shadowrun and the like. Just a virtual environment where you could exist and explore, you know, parallel to the world that we're in now. So there's some things in that front that I'd also like to build toward, some fundamental pillars that I think that need to exist that I don't see much work being done on yet. Yeah, that's, you know, some of what we're looking to do in the next, you know, 5 years and beyond.
Okay, so nice to see the scope of what they're looking to accomplish. This is obviously a brand new token. We'll continue to follow it. I think the last time we covered an actual token other than LCX that was on the Liechtenstein exchange was DOGE. So look more into the gang token if you choose to do so. I'm not personally invested into it, but nonetheless, hey, it's new LCX news. Glad to bring it to you guys and so on. If you are going to get into the gang token, or you already feel as though like this is the thing for you, please drop in the comments why you feel as though it's awesome, where you see it going and so on. Love to hear back from you guys in regards to that feedback. We'll try to obviously bring you guys more updates, see how it goes and so on. That concludes the Liechtenstein coverage of LCX. We're going to jump back into the comments. Here we go. All right. Just kidding with Arby's, Max. For some reason, we have the meats voice stuck onto my head recently. So basically, I come across to you as kind of like Dr. Claw. Just hear me out. I'm the Dr. Claw of Arby's or something, in which you are labeling me as the guy that doesn't show his face for, we have the meats. So for whatever reason, when I come on here, it's just like, crypto talk now. We've got the meats. I mean, I don't know. It's all right. But yeah, you got that voice stuck in your head. That's all right. I'll make me a Jasmine t-shirt. You're going to have to get me a big shirt, man. I'm a pretty big guy. I need to lose weight, but I'll tell you this much. Extra large I haven't worn an extra large since high school. Yeah. Anyway. Patrick Collier says Vaseline. Brian Dowie is giving Patrick a dab. Cool stuff. All right, we're gonna get to I think this might be the last or second last. It's gonna be for Algorand, and there's only 20 people here. It's okay. I just want to get this going because if anything, I might be able to chop it up and make a good video. All right, so here it is, Algorand. Smash that like if you got some algo. And here it is. I like this one. I like what's reported on this one. Why is that? Well, you guys know that I'm been a gamer for most of my life. And yes, there's fireworks playing in the background, so just bear with me. 4th of July. Happy 4th of July to all you guys. Algorand, from play to earn to true asset ownership, blockchain is reshaping the gaming industry. Is it not? Absolutely it is. Learn more about the future of gaming that is basically built on blockchain. I love seeing some of this stuff. Why the future of gaming is built on just that, blockchain. Well, why is that? Well, when we talk about blockchain related projects, a lot of times you guys are going to mention like, Gala, where you want to pronounce it. But what about Algorand? Well, what about Algorand? Here it is from the Algorand Foundation. And the future behind it and so on. So blockchain is changing the way we game. We know about this in regards to play to earn. At some point, I'm going to make my own game. Okay. A couple of games, and they're going to be like, free to play. As we know, it's a common theme, for over 10 plus years now when it comes to free to play games. Right. But at the same time, you can make it very profitable. Selling, for instance, a hat for $1, or you put in a package $5, $10, whatever the case be, right? But my key thing is if you create a game and you make it free to play, for instance, you are reaching so much more of a broader. You're allowing more people to have access to your game than putting a price tag on, and that is a proven fact. If anybody wants to debate me on that, I don't care. I can show you tons of references in regards to that. I've even pitched my game idea to 2 venture panels. So I've been through this, okay? And with the real true utility run a few years from now and so on, that's going to be my meal ticket to finally create my own game. So yes, Algorand, this info is right up my alley because I want to hear more about this. So it says blockchain technology isn't trying to undermine the joy and essence of gaming, but rather enhance the gaming experience with greater player freedom, rewards for gaming efforts, and player-driven decision-making. TechCrunch puts it like this, and listen to this quote. The overarching vision for Web3 gaming is to empower players with more control, reward them in proportion to the value they contribute, and to lower the bar so that it's not just the top 0.1% of players who can make living through gaming. Yes, blockchain looks to bring about fairness and transparency, true ownership of in-game assets, democracy to gaming communities. It also aims to improve upon an already remarkable playing experience and provide the next generation of gaming. They talk about this thing called provable fairness and transparency. This is a very debatable section. I mean, it's not going to mention this, but, I imagine they might mention it. I think so. I mean, I did review this earlier. But my thing is, if you're going to talk about fairness, you got to talk about the whole concept of having a true anti-cheat, not having somebody that can exploit things. In the past, I always felt as though that I would love to see some of my AAA developed video games have a proper anti-cheat that was built on blockchain. I always felt as though, like, why not have an anti-cheat on blockchain? Now, look what's mentioned here. Here's a part of what I was talking about. Thanks to transparency, a blockchain can also give insight into other players' gaming activities and the game assets they hold. This can lower the risk of cheating. So, I mean, they acknowledge that it's not going to be cheat-proof. As long as they have something that can dramatically risk cheating and fraudulent playing, that's a step in the right direction. If you have things verifiable on chain that somebody was using a hack, then after they committed that hack or that, the crime of hacking, you ban them, right, on chain and so on, and they stay banned. As far as them creating another account, if it's on blockchain done right, it still verifies it, just like you verify things on like Etherscan about certain addresses. I would imagine even if a guy, some people say, well, he just make another wallet. Well, are we not tracking other things? IP addresses. Well, they could just make a proxy. I get it, but at least it's a step in the right direction. Reducing cheating is always a good thing. What's more, decentralized digital identities built on blockchain can enable players to build identities and reputations in the community, bring a new level of trust to gaming. All these are positive catalysts. True ownership in in-game assets. We know about some of these things, right? Like we want to make sure our data is protected on chain. If I own a bunch of stuff, whether it's NFTs and so on, I don't want nobody messing with that. A decentralized in-game economy, all those things are key things. If you ever played World of Warcraft back in the day, you understand that, there's some really big, massive in-game economies, okay? Earning through play, people love this concept. Being rewarded for gaming efforts is a new concept. It's not. But the major difference is that blockchain gaming proposes being able to earn rewards that can be either used in the game or exchanged for real-world value. Again, another concept of why we say, does your token have utility? If so, what it is. Here's another perfect example of if you're going to be using or having like this a particular video game, and for instance, if it's play to earn, you will earn, like for instance, maybe through Algorand. This is all great stuff because not only, like it says, it incentivizes players to invest more time and effort into whatever game they're playing, but it also opens up new opportunities for individuals to earn income through gaming-related activities. What was a perfect example a couple years ago, 2.5+ years ago, Axie Infinity, right? And so their native, their in-game token was Smooth Love Potion. And we saw what happened with Axie Infinity. I mean, they absolutely just blew up something fierce. Could we see something like that in regards to Algorand? Possibility, it's a possibility, right? Like I say, it's going to happen. A lot of people feel as though this is all speculative, but if you get something that is going to have, be that platform, if you will, where people could come in and really feel as though they can earn something significant, that's huge. Okay. So I don't want to dismiss it at all. Now, this company called Zone has built a comprehensive play-fi ecosystem that merges play to earn, yield farming, and NFT collectibles on Algorand. Fractal Monsters is what it's called, is a P2E monster taming game that closely resembles the 90s game called Tamagotchi. Now, I never heard of that game, I'll just be honest. Where players earn rewards for pet care and battling. Concept sounds cool. The fractal monsters are stored on the Algorand blockchain, and in-game assets can be kept in your Algorand wallet. course, we know about, you know, community governance. I'm not gonna get into that. They want to make a positive environmental impact. But there's, of course, they're going to mention something in regards to carbon credits. Let's be honest. Here it is. It says, for instance, Evermost, a game developed by Carbon Counts, aim to mitigate climate change by promoting tree planting in the real world. It operates by allowing users to purchase in-game currency that is then used to plant trees, real trees. That's a good thing, in various locations around the world. How about this part before we end this? Blockchain tech aims to enhance the gaming experience, providing greater player freedom and rewards for gaming efforts, while maintaining the joy and essence of gaming, with the gaming industry valued at, listen to this, $4.83 billion in 2022 and predicted to grow at a compound annual growth rate, which is CAGR, at 68.3% from 2023 to 2030. Blockchain is expected to play a major part in its future. And if anything, at the very least, especially when it comes to anti-cheat. I mean, I've been saying this for years, like, especially when it comes to like Call of Duty. Like, you know, I understand you don't want to have your whole entire game on blockchain. Okay. But can you have a proper anti-cheat that would be on blockchain? To me, that'd be a step in the right direction. Will, you know, AAA games embrace the likes of Algorand or some of these other premier projects? Very, very well possible. But you have to have some kind of an example for these other bigger players, the AAA games of the world, Activision and so on, Electronic Arts possibly, to see, hey, you know what? This particular blockchain project or DLT, they did really well in this game. Now let's have some talks. That's just the way, you know, my only key takeaway from that. You know, it's like, you could call it like, you know, guinea pig in some of these other games to possibly, you know, bring in some of these other guys. And could you imagine how big that would be? You know, we're talking about Algorand here, right? Recently, and shout out to GF Berg, who watches our show and, you know, follows us on crypto Twitter. He tweeted out, and I retweeted it, about Caspa and how basically, like we're talking about earlier, World of Warcraft, Blizzard is incorporating some of these things, right? You know, on blockchain and tying in and so on. Absolutely big. So there's always going to be one key one. Again, some people feel as though it could be Gala, whatever you want to call it. Maybe it's Algorand, but maybe it's a few different ones. And to see this from Algorand, I think is pretty big. I'd love to, you know, take more of a deeper dive into this. I probably will, because I myself am a gamer. Glad to bring this to you guys. I'm going to stop the share. Thank you very much. All right. Let's see where we're at. All right. In the comments, we got a few more of you guys. You dishonor self-warming hobbies in the microwave. Meat talk now. Why am I trying to talk like that? I'm sorry, Brittany. Meat talk now usually happens when Larry is the host. Meat talk now. Yeah, that's crazy. All right. And Brittany, no, I know you don't sound like that. Anyway, I don't know what you sound like, but I know you don't sound like that. Anyway. Harry and the large-breasted women of the Ukraine. They say the new GTA will cost $2 billion to make. That's crazy. If that's the case, maybe they're finally going to build an MMORPG. I'm thinking that I'm going to lean towards that. If it's going to cost $2 billion to make that, that's where I'm going to go with. I mean, I've been talking about this concept for probably since the late 2000s, like probably like 2006, 2007. There used to be a popular mod for GTA San Andreas, multiplayer mod. It's like an RPG. I don't know. Maybe people don't want to mention this, but I'll just be honest. Like you could be like a level 1 rapist or something like that. It's just horrible concepts, right? Like you play good guys, bad guys. You know, like in GTA San Andreas, there's like Grove Street. So like you could start off as like a level 1 gang member, and then you progress through the game. You know, if you're initiated, it's just all sorts of bad. You want to play as the good guys, you play as like a beat cop, and then you progress. Anyway, I imagine it has to be something like huge like that. I mean, this would be probably the biggest MMO RPG ever. And if I see something like this, $2 billion, that tells me that's probably what the hint is. I'll have to look more into that. Maybe it's not it, but to me that would make sense. I mean, that's a lot of money, and that's going to be a very expensive game. Wait a second, maybe I should get back into Algorand. Maybe. I didn't know that you got away from it. Casper. That's it, Algorand. All right. Let's flex. Yes. Good stuff. All right. All right. In regards to the Bitcoin ETS, I'll probably just share that some other day and just wrap things up here in a bit. Let me see how I'm doing the time. Yeah, I probably should just wrap things up here in a bit. Kind of get ready to get going. All right. I don't know. I might take a trip across town. Go to Lolo's Chicken and Waffles in South Phoenix. Get me some chicken and waffles or something. I don't know. Then again, I got some steak and stuff here, but I don't know. Lolo's Chicken and Waffles sounds really good. There's also Keyshawn's Chicken and Oil Change, but I don't know if they're open tonight. So, yeah. You want some 40 weight with your chicken? Anyway. All right. Thank you to everybody still here. 16 wonderful, beautiful people. Please smash that like on your way out. Really love and appreciate you guys. I hope that, you know, you guys are having some good fellowship with whoever you're having fellowship with. Just know that, you know, mental health is a crucial thing. It is for me too. Like, I got to stay positive about things. I need to get out and, I don't know, just I guess maybe see what my best friend is up to or something. And after I dump this kid off, and not trying to invite myself to stuff, but you know, take care of your physical and mental health, and you know, maybe take a break from crypto. I know I sound like a hypocrite talking about it right now because I spent 4th of July talking about crypto, for crying out loud. But anyway, I'll try to chop up some stuff and get it out. So, all right, I won't keep you guys any bit longer. Thank you again. It's been a good show. Happy 4th of July. And we'll see you back here tomorrow for Utility Talk Now with the one, the only Sean the Crypto Smith. Have a great night. Bye-bye.